All right, all right, all right. I do believe I am live. Hey, Zen friends. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're having a great start of your weekend and happy Saturday morning to some of you guys on the other side of the planet. So, welcome, welcome. Excited as we always are to see what we can learn tonight from Spirit as we connect with them for messages and their beautiful energy, our loved ones on the other side, whoever wants to come through. And so I'm excited. But before we dive into all that, we like to get out of the chaos of the world, get out of the future, get out of the past, come into the now. And we do that by taking a big, deep breath in, consciously choosing to be here, present, hold your breath for as long as you feel comfortable. And then a slow exhale out is what helps us kind of slow our roll and come back to this moment. And then we'll bring in the singing bowl for some beautiful energy too. So if you want to join me in doing the breath, here we go. Deep breath in. Beautiful. Nice deep breath. And then I will hit the singing bowl 3 times. And as we do that, we can just let that love energy within us just radiate out into all of our mind and all of the stuff on our mind, our stories, our beliefs, all our thoughts and thinking that we do as humans flow into our hearts, into all of the emotions we're feeling to help raise that love vibration going into our physical bodies, every cell of our body, our blood, our organs, just everything within our physical body. And then into our energetic body, of course, we've got our chakra system, we've got energetic meridians that run through our body, we got our big auric field that's around us, all of that energy. We just let that beautiful love energy fill that up. And then once we're full, it overflows and just out to the world. Let it do what it wants to do out there to make the energy of the planet higher, higher, and higher, according to the will of the collective, of course. Um, and of course, something we can do to raise our vibration is what? That's right, gratitude. When we're grateful, just one little thing in this moment, it immediately begins to raise our vibration and it kind of magnetizes us to receive more of that from the outside world, whatever we're grateful for. And it definitely opens us up to receive messages from Spirit too, which is why we're here. So win, 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 right? All right. So I will hit it 3 times. Remember, gratitude. Here we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me and doing that. I think I left and went somewhere for a moment. What? How long was I out for? What's the timer? Okay, it's only been 5 minutes. We didn't go too far, too long. So, hello, Zen friends. So grateful to have you here, and what lovely, lovely energy we have going on. Moon has moved into Aquarius now, so we're in a little bit of a quirky, fun moon energy with Aquarius. It's of course, an air sign meeting a wonderful emotion sign, but it's that rebel energy. It's the emotions feeling like we're tired of doing things the same way kind of energy. So, of course, have that going on. So, welcome, welcome. If you're new to my channel or new to these readings, hello, I'm your bruddaZEN, and we're here to definitely spill the tea. We got a great group of Zen friends here with huge hearts and great senses of humor. So, welcome. There's always room for more Zen friends. We try to keep the energy very high love and supportive. So, thank you guys so much for doing that. It's a very safe space for us all. So, thank you for that. If you want to know how the whole process works, it's all down there down there, down yonder. My little time in Texas is coming out, uh, but it's down there in the description area. Uh, Donations that you get first priority. We step out of free readings and complete those. So if you want to make a donation, you can use the super chat at the bottom or in the description. It does talk about our Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Square, and Google Pay. So if you want to use any of those, I don't have any set dollar amounts currently. So if you want to check those out, all that information's down there. We do get to free readings every session eventually. And I do post a pinned comment at the end of each session listing all the readings completed with timestamps. So you can just find that pinned comment after the session, see your name, click on it, takes you right to your reading. Really easy breezy and fancy. So that's how it kind of all works. I also have a free podcast. Every kind of 2 weeks is the plan of when a new adventure comes out, a new episode. The last one was we started talking about growing the empathic gift. The one before that was about the empathic's heart song, and talks about why some of us and most of you guys in this chat room have a huger amount of empathic abilities. We talk about astrology a little bit, our how we grew up and different things like that too. And of course, we don't just tell you that. We Spirit provides hints on how you can ride the tsunami of a great emotion instead of getting slapped around by it. So this one we started talking about an overview, getting some tools on how to be aware of how kind of to grow it. We kind of talk the overview of the 4 phases that I experienced in growing my empathic abilities, and we're gonna go into detail, in the next 4 podcasts after this. This one covering each phase, and it also will kind of mesh in talking about not just empathic gift, but how you can grow your spiritual gifts, because 'cause they're all kinda related. They all come from our heart, through our heart, from higher love vibration energy. So we'll dive into that. If you're interested, you can check that one out. Keep a lookout. If you're subscribed to my channel, just make sure your notification setting is set to all. You'll get notified when the podcast comes out. So the next one will be next week. So I'm excited. All right. So that is the skinny on how kind of everything works. There's tons of details down in the description area of the video here. So if you have questions around my channel and stuff, it's usually you can find a ton of information down there, including I do offer private readings and energetic hedges too. So if you want to check that out. All right. Well, let's do some shout outs and we will then get into our readings. So we'll dive in there and see what we got going on. So we'll start at the bottom here and work our way up. Make sure I have everyone, and then we'll dive in. So Leslie, hello, hello, my friend. Yes, I just got your square came through, so thank you so much for that. We'll get you on list here, and it looks like your question is right here. You wanna have messages from the silver fox. Alright. Is that a spirit, or is that what you call, a specific person that you're interested that has gray hair? I'm just kidding. Bada bung. Alright. And then we've got Livia Vagara in the house. Livia, hello, hello. You would like a love reading for this month. All right, we'll get you on the free list here. Good to see you. Hello. Thank you so much for your well wishes. We got Samya Rao in the house. Hey, Samya. We got your free question here. We'll get you on the list. Good to see you. Dear friend in heaven. Oh, okay. I felt like they were on the other side. But the way they came through when I read the name, they came through like one of those Japanese, I think it's Japanese or Korean. It's kind of the fantasy where a fox, when it's like not a demon, but it's like a spirit, it has multiple tails, and it came through as a silver one with multiple tails. So I was like, "What's that about?" So we'll see what that is, but that's what they showed me. That was funny. It's like it's not anime, but it's like whenever you watch, like, any of the Korean, Chinese, Japanese, the from Asia, like, all these fantasy I love watching the ones where, I love watching the martial arts and all that, but the stories that they have and, and especially when they have a lot of history of magic and stuff, it's really cool, but those come up quite often, so that's fun. Alright, and then we've got here, I think I've got everyone else on the list here. Let me just scooch these up, because then we got JoJo. Thank you for your PayPal. So I got you on the donation list here too. And then we are up here. And we got just Alice before that. So Alice, thank you for your donation. Good to see you. I got you on the list here. We got Christina Lowe. Got you on the free list here, Christina. Good to see you. Hello, hello. And then we've got Lotus of Serendipity. Got you on the free list. Hello, good to see you. And of course, we got Ascending Universal Butterfly. Hello, my friend. Thank you so much again. Just wanted to give a shout out for communicating all those lovely things you do in the chat. I appreciate that. You did all that all on your own without even asking, and I appreciate that. It's very grateful. And then we got Blueberry before that. So Blueberry, good to see you. You're on the free list here. Make sure I didn't skip anyone here. Got all those. And then we've got here, we've got Sudeshna Ghosh. So Sudeshna, hello, hello. You might be asleep. I know it's on the other side of the planet. It's getting late there. And we have Maria P. Thank you. I got your 2 donations and then also your free reading request. So I got you on there. And yes, and then Marissa. Hey, Marissa, good to see you. I do have you. You'll actually be up first for the donation reading. So thank you for your donation. And we got you on there. And then we got Minnie Hill. Hello, my friend. From much earlier this morning. Well, earlier today. It's about 4 hours ago. So hello. You'll be up first when we get to the free reading. So I think that is everyone here. And so I'll do a quick update on where we're at in the donations and we'll dive into those here. But I think I've got everyone on the list. So we're going to be using a combination of the Ancestral Path Tarot, just a really big, I don't know, a draw to the ancestors today. And then we'll also use we have a standard Rider-Waite tarot deck that we'll use along with that. Because these are, this is a standard size deck. Let me see if I could do this. So this is a standard size deck, and then here's these cards. Boom! Even for my giant hands that I have, it's hard to shuffle these. So we'll limit the use of those, but we're going to bring them. They do want to be a part of the reading, so we will do that. Then if your donation or donations total $5 or more, you will get one of yours at least will be the Oracle of the Rift Walker. gonna continue to use those beautiful ones. And then for all other donations, um, we're almost done. We have, like, enough, but, almost enough where I'm like, I might run out of these cards, so I'm gonna be using both of these. Whispering Woods will finish up, and Divine Directions. I actually combined them all into one stack, the remaining Whispering Woods and all the new Divine, so we got a nice little stack going. So we use those. So that is what we're using in case you wanted to know. And we'll take a nice, beautiful sip of some coffee as I just thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for all the thumbs up. It's a way that you can show me some love, my channel some love, and you're part of the love tsunami because it does help spread the Zen love across the world by impacting the little algorithms. The more you have thumbs up and you guys participating in these chats and liking my videos and commenting on them, all that stuff that you can do for free, it does help spread the Zen love and helps my channel get in front of other people. So other people have a chance hearing from spirit too. So thank you guys for that. And I love you. So let's sip. Cheers, cheers, and we'll dive in. Yum, yum. Nothing like a nice, smooth, soothing, warm drink or hot drink on a wonderful spring day full of pollen. I did go out for my walk today. You won't believe that it snowed. Like 2 days ago, there's like no record. I mean, no sign of snow except on the mountains. This reminds me, I forgot to post my Pikes Peak has snow on it, which is kind of normal for May. Um, that comes in. I don't know. Don't think I can. I tried showing it before. We can always see if it'll do it, but I took another picture when I was out walking. Let's see. Here's May 4th. Let's see. Can I do it this way? Well, let me see if it'll zoom it in a little bit. Well, we'll just do it that way. We'll see. Oops, got my cord plugged in. See if you can see a quick picture of it. So that's Pikes Peak. Beautiful, beautiful. I get to see that Purple Mountain's majesty. So I do love it. Oops. All right. We are good. So don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. We're here in Colorado Springs. We're 6,000 feet above sea level and more. Denver, which you hear is the mile high city, that's 5,280 feet. So we're higher than Denver. So it's beautiful. Oxygen. All right. So we're going to start off with Marissa, and then 2 for Maria P, and then Sudeshna, and then Just Alice, and then JoJo. I'm sure she'll appear here and give us her question. And then Leslie, you'll be up after that. All right. So let us dive in, everybody. So we're at 1855 for yours, Marissa. Thank you for your donation via the PayPal. Yes, that's how it came in. So thank you for that. So you're considering buying a house instead of renting, but your credit isn't the best. So you have to get a loan, right? So will you get approved for a loan, right? Based on your current energies. Let's see what they want, what the ancestors are bringing in. All right, they do want that one. And then what's we have here from the Rider Waite Tarot? What else they want you to know here? All right. Well, at the bottom of the deck, you do have the King of Pentacles, which is a great abundance and fullness in the outside world. So I feel like your pursuit of a house and like purchasing a house, that it's very supported here with that. And the ancestors say, yeah, you got the Star card. It's like a dream come true energy that is coming in here. So I do feel like you will get approved for a loan. It's just a matter of how much and what the interest rate is going to be. I know, but I do feel like you can have that. Let's see what these other 4 cards are bringing in here for you too. Well, yeah, got the 6 of Pentacles. So the 6 of Pentacles is, again, another victory, successful type of experience in the outside world with being the Pentacles. And I like that. There might even be, you know, because there's this be open to receive energy that comes in with that. And if you haven't checked out my Abundance Where It Be podcast episode number 14, I'd really listen to that because there's coming in strong here with the Six of Pentacles because there's two things I guess that exist within our being that either draw things toward us or push it away. So we talk about our energy and we talk about the rate of exchange that our inner child feels we have to have. Like we have to we're taught when we're younger we have to give so much to deserve so little. So things coming toward us sit outside that city gate. So if you haven't checked that out, it's my Easier Path episode. And so since you're here right now, I'll just post it here in case anyone else is interested in that. Here's the link if you guys want to check it. So I like this. Let's see what else we need to know. Yep, we've got the Five of Cups energy here. And I feel like there's a little bit of, you know, because that does bring in kind of like some energy, some lower vibrational emotional energy where we can kind of get into this hole, in our life when we feel like things aren't working out. We can kind of get in this emotional kind of spin of, oh, what if this doesn't work out? What if that doesn't? What if this? It's about changing our emotional energy too, to, go from like a low place and realize, you know what? Everything is happening for me. Like, let's say with all this, you get approved for a house. You're like, I thank God that I didn't get approved for those other places I was wanting to move into. Spirit knew, no, 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 no. This is something even more for you, right? So it's like kind of learning that, going, I can trust you, creator. I can't, I don't it's unstable to trust humankind, even ourselves, right, when we're in our human form, but I can trust you. I like that. Yeah, you got the Queen of Wands, so this does reaffirm here. You got both the Queen of Wands, the Six of Pentacles. It's all about possibilities and looking at kind of adjusting some stuff within you that allows it to come in and even come in faster. Yeah, and you got the Sun card too. So there's this beautiful bright light coming in here. So great cards here. I feel like the only thing that we're really looking at is just, understanding how attraction works, which is that video and a podcast episode. And the Five of Cups is just being aware of our emotional energy and going, you know what? I know everything's unfolding for me. So if I hit a wall, I can check with myself and go, is this me resisting something or is this something within me guiding me to go in a different direction? But I like that with the star card, the ancestors behind you and helping you make your dream come true. But I definitely would check that because at the very least, when we understand our energy and we understand our rate of exchange, we can bring things in faster than they ever have come in before. So I like that for you, Marissa. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in here too. All right, got this one here. Yeah, and we got transform. Beautiful energy here, which is emerge with beauty and grace from your cocoon. It's time to fly, baby. You're a butterfly breaking out of your cocoon and you're ready to fly into a new adventure. So it looks like it's very supported there. So I'm excited. Woohoo! All right, that's what they have for you, my dear. Thank you again for your donation. I'm very grateful for that. All right, let's see. I think I had at least one other person come in. Yeah, Rahul. Hey, Rahul. Thank you so much for being here. Let's grab your question, get you on the free list here. You're very welcome, Marissa. Fun times. All right. Oh, you know what? I copied them over here already. Let me check. Look here. Okay. We have 2 for Maria P up next. So, Maria, for your first one here, we got 2525. Here's your timestamp. So, thank you for your dual donations via Z PayPal. And let's take a look here. Um, so since there's, let's see, just such a wide variety of questions, I'm gonna not pull from the ancestor path here, because they're kind of like, um, I feel like we'll do one for your second one because that all covers one subject, but this kind of covers two or three different ones. So let's see here. Wally's thoughts and feelings towards you after your date yesterday. All right. And then after 3 drinks, you kind of spilled your feelings about how you felt. So, how do they feel today after that happening? What's coming for you guys next week? Uh, and then what's coming for you this weekend, and then work for you next week. All right. So let's take a look here. So we've got Wally's thoughts and feelings today, after your date yesterday. Yeah, Queen of Cups. A lot of emotions, really swimming around in their emotional world. Of course, Scorpio, they kind of revert back into diving into the depths of how are they feeling, what's going on. So a lot of reflection. It's almost like moon energy. So after your date, with you sharing that, how you felt and all that, it makes sense that they're in this, not so much in their mind this time, but really swimming around in their emotions in a positive way. They're really trying to understand where you're coming from, where they're coming from, emotionally. So I like that. Um, And then how do they feel today after they slept on it? Yeah, more emotional energy with cups. 10 of cups though, joy, celebration. So they loved and heard what you had to say. That's still relationship energy. They're still going strong with that. Um, with that. So nothing to be concerned about there. In fact, I feel like they appreciate the honesty, because then they kind of you confirm some stuff they knew how you felt anyway, but it's always great to communicate in a relationship, one way or another, because it's like, "Here I am," whether it's slurring it or not. All right, so what's coming up for you guys next week? Wow, got the Sun card. Beautiful, beautiful, bright, victorious energy, a lot of clarity, a lot of bright light shining on the relationship too. Positive things here. It feels very beneficial. Feel like you guys will share a lot more, from your heart and your mind, which is good. What's coming for you this weekend? Yeah, I feel like you have a little bit of struggle going on here. You have the 5 of Swords, which is a battle between your head and your heart, which can, if you're not careful, can roll out and become conflicting with other people as well. But I feel like this is mainly about your mind, your fears and expectations kicking in, your heart going, no, 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 kind of battling between your head and your heart here about, your mind thinks this should happen, this shouldn't happen, this should be said, this shouldn't be said, through a lot of things, not just relationship, but children and friends and family and the world. And so there's a little bit of confliction going on, with that. So anything you can do to ground yourself, go for a walk, get out in nature, turn off the TV, get outside, get away from social media and all news and all that blah, blah, blah. And go do things that are fun, things that ground you, and where you can take a big breath and just kind of slow down. And then work for you next week. You got the Hermit card. Yeah, but it feels like you're a little bit of kind of feeling like it feels like you're very busy with this Hermit card. Like you're you're buckled down and going, 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 going. And this isn't that you're ostracized and you're a hermit. This is like your choice. You're kind of to yourself a bit. But I feel like your head is, in your work, and you're grinding. I feel like you get a lot done, but it's almost like kind of like someone putting on their, you know, earphones and Like the rest of the world is out there. Not that you can probably do that at work, but that's kind of the energy is doing that, right? So that's what they have. Let's see what your fortune cookie is for this here, all right? Yeah, like we said, it feels like a focus is a big piece of it. You're in need of clear direction. Decide what you want in life. Yeah, it's like your head is going should, but the heart's going no, no, no. And it's like, what do I want in my life? Not what I think I'm supposed to, and kind of just kind of unconsciously flow in with whatever happens, but what do I want? So I like that. Right. So that's for your first one. So many blessings for that. And then for number two, you got 3111. Well, if I can type all these repeating numbers for you. Signs from the other side. Yeah, it almost feels like your loved one that passed recently is getting your attention through these numbers, 2525 and 3111. So I feel like they're kind of popping around in there. All right. So and then for work here, there we go. Went Dr. Bob's thoughts, Dr. Laura. So all of that is around work. So let's pull here a card from the Ancestor Path Tarot, just what they want you to know overall about your job here, about work. So I got that one there. And then let's see here. So Dr. Bob's thoughts on you right now. Boom, boom. And then Dr. Laura. And then when you left early today at work and told Dr. Laura, how did she feel after that? Um, I don't know. I think you meant something else. Is worm oh, maybe that work. Is work still planning on changing your role? I said worm. The worm? Who is that a nickname for someone? But I think you're saying is work still planning on changing your role? And then what kind of role would that be? With more money? All right. So, not bottom of the deck, but the message from spirit from your ancestors. Yeah, you've got the Chariot card coming in here, which is the power of choice energy. And so what a powerful card, right? But this is that you get to choose, you know, with all this work stuff coming in, you're not like on a, even kind of how they ended your previous one. What is it that you want to do? And I love that your fortune cookie was focused, because then it actually said in there that you get to decide. There's no right or wrong career or job or position or whatever. Even relationship, I feel in this lifetime for you, you don't have like a fated absolute one that you're going to end up with. And it depends on what you choose, what path you choose to go in your life, and that this is an important time for you to understand what it is you want to do. Your head, that head and heart conflict you have. The head is, well, this is what you should do. This is what, people will think if you choose this, and supposed to be and should be, and this is secure and blah, blah, blah. All the stuff the mind checks off all these boxes where you feel like you're existing. But when you like jump into your heart and you have this little, you know, what is my heart leading me? Where do I feel like I'm being drawn? What makes my heart happy? It makes it wants to sing, makes it want to dance. Then that is in the other direction. That's where we feel like we're living. And there's things that we can do this that even the mind supports. And I feel like that's kind of what's coming in here. Is there like, have you thought about what it is you want to do? What you want to do? What is this? Nothing's too big. Do you want to become a nurse, a doctor? Do you want to, get certifications, get into IT, whatever it is, it's like, or I want to be an artist, or I want to be this, what is it that makes your heart sing? Very important energy, especially because the Chariot card is ruled by the moon in Cancer. So it's all that emotional energy coming in. All right. So that's your message from spirit. We're starting off with that. And then Dr. Bob's thoughts on you. Yeah, the Page of Wands. So there is movement. They do, this is about upgrade, moving from a 10 of wands to an 11 of wands. So I do feel like you're energetic, you're productive, you're go-getter, you're ready for something more. And I feel like Dr. Bob feels that in this whole process. Allowed you to get more, I would say more personal. What? No, but they got to know you more than they ever have through the process that you went through. So I do feel like they're ready. And then Dr. Laura, yeah, maybe she's the one that's gonna put you in the corner. No, I'm just kidding. The hermit energy for her coming in here, I feel like, um, this is, and it's not, hugely, but I feel like she kind of, she's the one that has high expectations, right, on what she wants everyone to be, and one of the things, there's so many other things that, you're good at that she recognizes. But this one area is that you kind of work alone and that you might struggle a little bit working with groups. And, not all groups, just with some groups. And so I feel like that is what's on her mind as far as I feel like she's kind of creating development plans for people, like, "How can I help everyone grow their skills?" And I feel like she's on that kinda kick, career path. What can we do? Because this is an area that we can help grow, because I feel like that might have been the thing. I think we talked about that, the thing that might have someone else was really good about being with around groups, that they would be the one that would get that position, versus others, even though I think you said that they didn't choose anyone yet. But I feel like who they were going to choose was someone that could work well with multiple people in multiple groups, kind of be like the glue that holds things together in a way. So I feel like that's where she's coming from. And when he left early today at work and told Dr. Laura, Ace of Swords, I feel like there's understanding there with the Ace of Swords. She understands the bigger picture, and it, I feel like there was just understanding there. I don't feel like they were like, "You're leaving again?" or anything like that. I was like, "Okay, no, thanks for letting me know, da, da, da." And then are they still looking at changing your role? Ooh, oops. Well, you do have the star card, the dream come true energy. So that would appear to be yes. And that makes sense with what they're looking at with this other information, right? What kind of role? Yeah, temperance, patience energy. Dealing with patients. Do you guys deal with patients? Are these doctors like, do you have patients that you deal with? I like this. Juggling patients. Maybe, um, I don't know. This has to do with, um, growing something over time because it is something going back and forth, and and then it does it. So they feel like they do have changes in store, but the kind of role, I feel like because of this, I feel like they're in this big shift of stuff that they're kind of still creating, and they're kind of looking at how can they have I want to call it mutated roles, where it's like you do this and you do this and you do this, where before they had just one person did this, one person did this, one person did this. They're gonna like cross train people to where there's a couple people that do three things instead of just one thing. And I feel like they're figuring out how they want to do this, and that they might have you continue to do some of your current duties, like you'll train someone to help you, and then someone else will help you train you to help and share their work, and then there'll be a third person that learns both of your stuff, and you guys learn theirs, where you are able to some days do more of this, other days do more of that, other days do more of that. Wherever the need is, people can jump in, or if this person's sick, there's no impact to business, as they would say. So I feel like that's kind of what's going on there. Is it going to be more money? Five of wands is five is a number of change. So I do feel like there is possibility for it, but it does feel like it. again, kind of, they reminded me of an old 5 of Wands card, which shows people instead of the wands fighting, there's wands that are steps, and people are all climbing up the different steps. So it depends on how fast you learn and get on board with learning the other skill and taking it on, then they will look at, you know, offering a bump up once the training is completed kind of energy. So hopefully that makes sense. It made sense in here. So let me know. Let's see here. Your fortune cookie for this one. Let's see what this one here. You've got, yeah, you got flow for this one. Go with the flow. You need more flexibility in your life. Allow yourself to go with the flow. So be flexible with the changes and you'll shine through it. So I like that free read. That's what they have for you. We'll circle back around eventually for your free reading as well. All right. Hey, Jojo. Good to see you. Oh, an aura read. Thank you for your donation that we got. So thank you for that. And I got you. So where we're at, we have Sudeshna up next, and then Alice, and then Jojo, and then Leslie will be up after that. And we got Softly Me came in as well. Hey, Softly Me. We'll get you. Let's see. You came in after Rahul. Yep, so I'll get you on the list here for your love reading. I think I got everyone else. All right. Just take a quick sip here and we'll dive back in. So cheers, cheers, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. All righty. So Sudeshna, we got 4213 for you. Here is your timestamp. And so this is all about the work next week. Let's see what your ancestors have to say overall guidance for the week. All right, thank you. And let's see here. So for love, what do they want you to know about love here? And then we've got career. Got that. I don't want any of those. I want that one there. All right. And then health. Of course, disclaimer in the description box. Not a licensed medical professional, of course. So tarot's for fun, entertainment purposes. So it does look like here, the bottom of the deck for the entire week, you do have this little 8 of cups, which is about walking away from emotions that don't serve you anymore, relationships and emotions that don't serve. And that will add back to your energetic bank, your emotional energy, because if we're focusing our emotional energy on all these relationships with so many people, and we have old emotions that we've pushed down that were anger and sadness when we were younger that we haven't dealt with, and they're just bubbling below the surface. It takes energy to keep all that down. And so all of our emotional energy is invested in that. So, we usually get the 8 of cups when there's some reclaiming of emotional energy we can do, cutting off or backing off of some relationships with people, at least not giving 70, 80, 90% all the time, and backing off and, you give 50%. And if they don't give 50%, then the relationship drifts apart. You get more back. But it's all about building up your emotional bank to prepare you for something that takes emotional energy, like a new job or new relationship or both, right? So when we're don't have much in our emotional bank, our heart won't approve any new things coming in. So it's important to kind of um, build up that emotional bank. Your guidance for the week from your ancestors is the 4 of Wands, which is joy and celebration. And there's nothing, well, I mean, unconditional love energy also does it, but gratitude, unconditional love, and joy, all of that energy also builds up your emotional bank. So the more we're focusing on that, it helps build that up, and then we overflow. So can kind of do a combo of both. Is yeah, do an inventory of where all your emotional energy is going, and then focus as much as you can on higher vibration joy, laughter, play. That also brings in a ton of emotional energy, which takes us into your love energy. Yeah, you got the Hierophant. This is the power of change. They're the ruler over, you know, the change in your life being the number 5. It's also the master of stepping stones. So I feel like this week is more you reflecting back on what have you learned from past relationships? Because this what they do is they show you, look what you've gone through. This was for you. There was lessons there, mirrors showing you what you want to see about yourself. So they're giving you this hindsight, this eyesight on seeing them differently and going, what did I learn about myself? Because if you don't spend time kind of reflecting, going, "Oh, I see. Well, I'm gonna change this within me." We'll keep repeating the same cycles and ending up with who we've got. So I feel like this week is more journaling, reflecting on what did I learn about myself through those relationships. Yeah, and then underneath that, because you do have the Ace of Wands, there is a new kind of spark coming across your path here soon. But if you don't want him to be like a stepping stone kind of energy and something more serious. And rather than getting involved with someone else and being drawn out by the little squirrel, this little shiny bright thing, they're saying you'll learn one way or another. You'll learn by repeating the cycle or learn by not getting involved with someone and reflecting because it's important for you at this time. For career, yeah, you got the world card here, which of course is a significant ending, a beginning of a new adventure. So I do feel here you've got, a world of possibilities in front of you regarding career that you can open up to this week. Yeah, underneath that, you have the Two of Swords, which is the battle between the head and the heart. You can see the moon energy. So, we've talked about this like probably more than you want to hear. It's like again, but it is. It's all this draw. You're at this crossroads of either repeating an old cycle and going back into doing what we've always done before, and we're going to experience all what we've done, or the heart choosing what the heart is excited about and going in that direction. That will break the cycle, and you'll feel this abundant feeling in doing so. But there's no right or wrong. They're just letting you know, since you asked, you're at a crossroads. You can either, one more time around the entire track or exit and go on a new adventure. But I feel like things are really coming to a head this coming week for you, meaning I don't feel like in the physical world so much as your conflict between your head and your heart. You're just like, I can't take this. So I like that for you. And then for your health, you do have the 2 of Cups, power of emotional choice. So this is, your health. We talk about stress related impacts on your body. And this 2 of Cups is basically saying you have the power to choose, you know, high vibration when you do choose the joy. And it makes sense here with all this emotional energy that your ancestors and the 8 of Cups too is where am I investing my emotional energy? Am I worried about this? Am I worried about that? And stressed about this, stressed about that? All that creates stress on my body. So the more I can focus on higher vibration, trusting the creator, um, you know, and doing the um, gratitude, unconditional love, like I say, joy, laughter, play, that higher stuff. The more our body is not in anxiety, not in fight or flight mode, not in survival mode, and it can work the most productively. Otherwise, my immune system is off, my digestive system is off. I'm flooded with all these, chemicals in my body, and I feel sore and I'm achy and all this stuff. So I feel like that's important to know that. Um, and there is some clarity you can find here with the Page of Swords, with that 6 of Pentacles. There is a big out of balance. I feel like this is about diving into your childhood. I talk with that Adventure 14 Abundance, where it be, it talks about, our rate of exchange. When we learn when we're younger, we feel like we have to give so much to deserve so little. And I feel like this is what they're saying is the stress kind of comes deeper in there. And if you have the ability, you know, because the Page of Swords is like diving deeper, which if you have access to like counseling or, um, you know, or if you're drawn to any kind of books or seminars, video, kind of things. In addition to my free podcast, of course, that's always free if you want to check those out. But I feel like it's an important time for you to do that because if we're not able to become unstressed ourselves, then we just need help. And that's okay. We can ask for help. Again, that's that receiving. Let me just ask for some assistance. They can give me tools. I know I did when I went to counseling. They helped me with my black and white perfectionist mentality, my mistrust of men. It was really good stuff. And they gave us tools and understanding so that we could release stuff. And I love that. So I highly encourage it if it's available to us. I say do it, right? It can't hurt. Yeah, because we got positive, which says, enjoy this positive time. Smile. Know that everything is going well, even if it seems it's not matching up to our picture of well, but we can trust that it is going well and we can choose to go with gratitude. Thank you that everything's unfolding perfectly for me. So we can get it, believe it here, because it's true. Everything is unfolding for us. So hopefully that helps, Sudeshna. That's what they have for you. So many blessings. Then we have Alice. You are up 5210. Thank you for your donation. I think yours was a sticker. Oh, Sudeshna, I didn't give yours a love and a like. Let me do that. Yeah, you got a hot dog. That reminds me of Legally Blonde. And what is her name? It's not Karen, is it? But I love her. She's like, oh, the beautician from Legally Blonde. I love her. Such a character. So thank you for all of that and the donation. And so you said your friend Vish's true thoughts and feelings towards you. You feel like he doesn't like you. You're not sure why. Why was he acting really weird, mad at points in the wedding? All right, let's take a look here. See what their true feelings are towards you. Grab that. And then why was he acting really weird and mad at some point? So we'll get the skinny that's going on there. And then let's see what your ancestors have to say here too. I'll do this one here. All right. So let's see what your ancestors have to say first. We'll give them an honor that. We got the Empress here. I like this. This is a lot about, Mother Nature, Mother Nurture, honoring yourself. But it's also, there's this very, a ton of emotional energy below the surface on the Empress, even though it feels like, the Empress is Mother Nature and earthy energy. Below the surface, all four queens honor the Empress. It's like the Emperor rules over all four kings. The Empress kind of doesn't really rule over them, but does supervise, I guess is a good, the other four queens, um, and interacts with them. But they all, in honor, give her all of their, the four elements. But all queens have also cup element, water element behind them. So it's 5 parts emotion that are given from the queens to the Empress, and then 1 part earth, 1 part air, 1 part fire. And so there's a lot of emotional energy that isn't seen on the surface, but is bubbling below the surface. So I feel like there's a lot more emotion. It's even kind of sensuality and some draw here. So it could be that there is some emotions that they haven't recognized and below the surface that's bubbling here too that no one's really aware of, right? The bottom of the deck for your overall reading here, you do have the 7 of Swords, which is, becoming aware. Yeah, even underneath that, the Moon card. So there's all that emotional energy. Oh, and attraction here too with the Ace of Wands. that's under the surface, but the 7 of swords is, you know, the thief, the liar, the deceiver, but this is becoming aware of my own thoughts and beliefs and mindsets that cheat me out of opportunities. So I feel like that's kinda where some of their anger was coming from, and they were more mad at themselves, and, um, and I feel like that's why they were acting kinda weird weird because they were kind of in fight or flight mode, it feels like. We'll get more detailed. Let's just jump to that. What's this really weirdness? Yeah, the 3 cups energy, so feeling like a third wheel. Um, it's almost like they felt they were being cheated on, which is interesting. That's the kind of jealousy, feeling cheated on underneath the surface that they were really sparked. And the madness, yeah, the 6 of wands, it's like, and that does make sense with both of these. It feels like, someone was uplifted, someone was being, um, made to feel special. I don't feel like it was the people that were getting married, but it feels like someone else got in front of everyone, and it's like they felt they should have been the one, like, giving the speech or, being included in the dance or whatever. I'm just thinking of this, wedding. I started watching the TV series Sense8. Um, I think it's on Netflix, and that's where I'm watching it, and, one of the characters, um uh, she's from India. That her wedding was beautiful, beautiful, and they did dancing and all this, and I love the Indian culture, and but that's what they're showing in my head is that, "Oh, someone got to dance and I didn't get to." And it just feels like they felt like a third wheel, feeling like they were cheated on and jealous in some way. And I don't feel like it was that towards you specifically with this. I feel like that had to do with what was going on at the wedding, not so much, specific to you. They were just in this weird, cranky fight or flight, acting like a child energy, right? Which is what we all do when we go into fear. But let's see, what are their true thoughts and feelings towards you? Yeah, so they're kind of looking at this is an adventure full of possibilities. Doesn't feel like they have a whole lot of expectations in their brain. Um, just more of, let's see where this goes. This is a friendship, and let's just see, you know. Um, I just feel like they don't have expectations because that's the full card, the 0 card, which is like a child that just, yeah, just what are we gonna do? What's gonna happen now kind of energy. Um, we do have the Judgment card, which is an energy of trying to be pulled and seen from a different place. So with that full card and the Judgment card, 2 major arcana, I do feel like they're kinda just seeing, well, let's see where this friendship goes. No expectations, just kinda going with the flow energy with that. That's their mind. Their feelings, we do have the 7 of Wands along with the Queen of Wands. Yeah. So there is definitely Wands energy is attraction energy, and we had that with that, you know. I do feel like there are emotions, there is attraction below the surface for you with all this energy, the Empress and the Moon, the Ace of Wands. I feel like they have that there, but their mind cheats them out of acting on it, and they're kinda just going with the flow. I feel like they're kind of waiting to be noticed, waiting to be seen, and I feel like they're waiting on you to take action with the Queen of Wands. They're, like, letting you lead the way on where the friendship goes or not. So I feel like they're kinda just not someone who, um, like, takes the initiative when it comes to relationship kinda stuff. Even I feel like it kinda rolls out into different things in their life too, where they won't go for something unless they know they're gonna get it because they can't handle failure a little, too much at this time in their life. Feel like they kinda live in a black and white world where a failure means I'm a total failure. I don't, swim around in a sea of gray. It's black and white. I'm either victory or failure. There's not anything in between, and so they kinda have that pressure on them. So, hopefully that helps. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in here too. All right, there we go. We've got resilient. Yeah. Stay as strong as evergreen trees, it says. Resilient. So it feels like, stay strong, stay your course. I feel like this is important. It's like, well, I don't want to have to be the one to initiate. It's like eventually it'll either get too much where they will, if you want them to, be attracted towards you, then it can eventually, once they can't take it anymore, or you can step up if you want and share that. And then, that's the whole thing, right? Is like we none of us want to be the to put our heart out there and go, I really honor you as a friend, and I always wondered what it would be like if it would be more than that. And then, we're afraid they're gonna go, "Ew, you, no way." It's like from the movies or whatever, right? And it's like, that's alright. It's good information to know, "Well, I'm afraid it's gonna ruin the friendship," I heard something on Instagram, which is so true. They go, "Friendships change. Friendships piddle out eventually," and it's like, so, you can like, "Well, this friendship isn't probably gonna be forever anyway," but you can take a chance if it's something that could turn into something more and you're wanting it to. We speak up. And if it ruins the friendship, it makes a new space for a new friend to come in. If that ruins it, oh well, there's plenty of people that want to be your friend. So there's a waiting list, right? All right. But that's what they have for you, Alice. So many blessings to you. All right, let me take a quick sip here. We got Jojo up next, and then Leslie is who we have at this point. So cheers, cheers, everybody. All right. So Jojo, we're at 102.34. Wow, look at that. The zeros in the middle there. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Things are kind of unfolding. So let's take a look here. Like a little aura read. So let's take a look here. See what we got. What your ancestors want to say here, and then what else about the aura. Thank you. All right. So, yeah, even your cards came out. 1 card, 2 cards, 3 cards. So you've got this progression. Something's growing. There's energy that's growing. Now, the bottom of the deck, we do have the 2 of cups. Now, relationship with another person, actually, and there's orange up there, is the sacral chakra. Like our one-to-one relationships, um, have to do with that. So I really feel this orange energy is where the big amount of it is, which comes from your sacral chakra and your, expansion of one-on-one with other people. It doesn't have to be romantic, can be, but it's just one-on-one with people, and I feel like there's some charge going on in there. You got the Ace of Wands is the first card that comes out, so that's why I feel like it's being extra flooded here, where you feel like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" So in the, your sacral chakra area, which is like below your belly button, I feel like that is kind of being activated, and that's influencing a lot of your aura. This yellow energy too of the solar plexus. So I do feel like a lot of yellow, orange, and even the green heart chakra energy, which that's right up the alley, right? Sacral solar plexus heart chakra. So I feel like there's a lot of energy flowing into that part of your world right now. Let's see what the ancestors wanted to say before we go on here too. Yeah, you got the 9 of sacred circles, the 9 of pentacles. So that is that you've been feeling alone for a while here, it feels like. Even in crowds, you kind of been feeling kind of alone. And I feel like that's why there's all this energy flowing in because I don't feel like you've been feeling like you can really, really let your one-on-one energy flow with another person. Whether it's a best friend or a lover or family member or coworker or whatever, you're just like you just kind of feel like your ancestors saying you've been feeling kind of guarded. I love you got that beautiful bird. I know you love your birds too. But this blue bird hawk energy, blue hawk kind of energy coming in here with this Native American connection. Um, so I love that. I love that energy. Um, let's see what this is building into. Because then you have the King of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah. I feel like you've been really, again, the Hermit card. Well, you had the Nine of Pentacles there. You got the Nine of Pentacles in this one too. With Spirit, alone with Spirit, but this King of Wands is an energy of choice and discovering, this alone time has been good for you. You're trying to figure out what it is you want, what you don't want, and once you have a plan, you'll put energy behind it and move forward with it. But it also there's this energy of you kind of been suppressing your passion energy, which both play and fun and external kind of energy. It's kind of like you've been kind of introverted in a way here with all this. And but I feel like that's what is being activated because it's time to come out of the cave, right? Let's see what else this is leading to. Yeah, so it's leading to the 10 of cups. So a great amount of joy. It doesn't have to be it's a relationship card, but I feel like it's more of hanging out with people that feel like a chosen family. Whether it's a friend you haven't talked with in a while and it's someone that you really normally connect really well with, but you both have been kind of distant, maybe it's time to go hang out, to let this joy flow and this sense of belonging, to come in with that as well. Because you got the Hierophant, which is, the card of change, the master of it's the master of change, master of stepping stones, but this doesn't feel like, relationship unless that's what you're wanting here. It's because you have the Chariot card, the power of choice too. All that moon energy, the emotional energy. Yeah, two major arcana and the 10 of cups, for this where this is headed toward. But it definitely feels like it's, there's no wrong choice, just different choices, different outcomes, different experiences at the very least, it's a choice of going hanging out with someone, and opening up to someone that you feel safe, that you can open up to, even if it's your higher self with the 2 of cups. But I feel like this is more the need to do it in the physical world because I feel like your human needs to feel that, whether it's, loving hugs from a best friend or, um etcetera. We'll stop there. I'll let your mind go where you want it to go with that, but, so I like that. I like that for you, um, but I feel like it's time, for that with all that energy. Right, let's see what your fortune cookie brings in here too. Okay, we got this one here. You got create. Yeah, you can also do that, but feel like it's definitely interacting with other people. But unlock your creative side with dance, music, art, or writing. Express yourself. Yeah, but I feel like you need to express your emotion, and this does feel with, like, another human being. Um, all the other stuff you can do independently with your higher self and creating work and arts of work and different things help get some of that energy out, but I feel like especially with that one-on-one sacral orange energy that needs to be expressed towards another person with another person. So hopefully that helps, my dear. That's what they have for you. Thank you again for your donation. I appreciate that. So cheers, cheers, everybody. Leslie will be up next. That is currently, I believe, my last donation, and then we'll dive into free readings if nothing else comes in. So cheers, cheers. Yummy, yummy. All right. So Leslie, 11028 is your timestamp. Boom, boom. And a message from the Silver Fox. Oh, that's right. Let's see what the Silver Fox has to say here. So let's see here from the upper realms here first. The, part of the ancestral tree here. So this one, okay. And then what other message do they have? Hello, good to see you. All right, we've got these and this one. I have this one and this one here. All right. So from the ancestors, yeah, you got the nine of, I put that back in. This came out again, nine of sacred circles. This beautiful nine of pentacles. Yeah, like the gray fox, right? Here's the gray hair. But that's it's interesting that it's coming through as like a Native American kind of energy, the drumming, the hawk, the bird, that's all coming. That is him. So I love that, the incense, the burning of things, just this very grounded energy. And I do feel here with the nine of pentacles energy, it is about, this an invitation to come spend time with them, connect with them. They will show you things. And I like that. I like that. I feel like their message to you, along with that invitation on the bottom of the deck, you've got the Knight of Wands, which is on the quest of stepping into your power. And I do feel like they would help you with their even with a shamanic journey, but I feel like they will appear to you as birds, either big birds like a hawk, even an eagle, but owls, even small birds, small bluebirds, small finches. They're just saying, I love coming to you in the form of birds, with all that's coming in here, right? You have hundreds here? Okay, yeah. So all over the place, such opportunities, and they're so willing to share their essence with him, He can come in and share the essence with the bird, and the bird will fly over. The birds will do silly things, loving things, beautiful songs, but all of this is to help, you on your adventure of going to a new level with your power. So I love that. These 3 cards came out together. Let's see what other message. Yeah, the Page of Swords. So there is this part of this power is connecting higher, getting clearer messages from the spirit world. Yeah, coming through balancing your head and your heart. Yeah, because they're kind of saying here, there's 7 of Cups is, you know, that heart can bring in so much. That heart of yours feels so much. And, I just feel like your empathic abilities have just been expanding like with humanity, like 2020, God, are we in 26? So 2024 is when it first started. Like it was like every month we were like a little bit more access to our empathic lower subconscious realm of emotions that was giving us access to like the Akashic records. Last year, it was like 1% every month because last year was a huge growth of a lot of stuff clearing out, opening us up to where we had the possibilities to dive so deep. And then this year is more putting all of that into practice and kind of getting into the grit of using that energy. So I love that. But they're saying with that 7 of Cups, they just want to give you some information on how to balance your emotional energy because it's so much. And that helps you, access other spiritual powers too. So they want to kind of take you on this shamanic adventure to kind of lead you to different places within you to help you understand and balance and expand your gifts. So I like that they're taking on almost like a little guidance teacher role on the other side, just because they're like, "Ooh, ooh, I wish I'd have known this. Oh, I'm gonna tell Leslie." So I like that. Yeah, and the 8 of Wands too. So this energy is a ton of messages. So you probably have been recognizing you're getting ton of messages, synchronicities, repeating numbers, things that they're trying to show you that they're there and bringing you information as well. But they have tons of more to share with you with this 8 of Wands. You got the 5 of Wands. Yeah, they do definitely want to help you transform your energy. Knight of Wands, 8 of Wands, 5 of Wands. That's all coming in here along with, yeah. And the 3 of Swords, helping you clear out some old emotions, some old beliefs and mindsets that kind of clog your pipeline. Um, and it has to do with some big disappointments, some feelings of heartbreak, that just have some leftover clogs in your emotional pipeline. And since your emotional pipeline is where all of our spiritual gifts come through, that's why they're focusing in on there with that King of Cups, all that Seven of Cups, and the balancing of those things as well. So I like that. Yeah, even on the bottom of the deck now, we've got the Page of Cups. So there is this, oh, and the 10 of Cups underneath that, and the 8 of Cups underneath that. So we definitely have, you know, there's a possibilities of focusing on joy, 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 joy. But it's like, I like we spend 90% of our time focusing on higher vibration, joy, play, laughter, gratitude, unconditional love, and then 10% of our time on our shadow and clearing out the clogs. Because if we focus too much on the clogs, then uh, we grow the clogs instead, and that's not what we want to do. We just whatever we feel is coming up, we deal with that, and then we go back to focusing on the higher vibration. So I love that from them. Oh my, right? So let's see here. What else do we have here for your fortune cookie? Oh, none of those. This one. Oh, looks like he's giving you two here. Oh, I like that. You got trust and friends. What a beautiful combo. So the friends says the most unlikely friendships can form like variegated lichens on hard rock. They create a tight bond. So I really do feel here, um, that talks about that type of energy there of the kind of friendship you guys had. And then trust in your intuition and what you're feeling, sensing, seeing, or experiencing. So I feel like they're going to help you trust your intuition even more. And that's a big piece of all that, coming in. So how fun. I love their energy. But that is what they have for you, Leslie. Thank you again for your donation. I appreciate that so much. All right. Yeah. He goes, "I'm right with you." He's always been by your side since he went. So, I feel like he's really is, bringing in a lot of energy for you. So, he's like, "All right, I'm ready to get started. Let's go." That's right. He's like, "Okay, I think you're ready. You're ready to interact with me as this higher being on the other side." So he's like, "Here we go. Here we go, honey. Here we go." So I love that. So thank you again, my friend. We got Michelle Smith in the house. Hey, Michelle. Thank you for your donation that came in via the Cash app. You'll be up next. And then Alex, thank you for your donation. She beat you like by 1 minute there. So you'll be up after Michelle. You're very welcome, Leslie. All right. So Michelle will be up next, and then Alex will be up to that. I was on my last donation, so you guys came in at the perfect timing. So cheers, cheers to you guys. All right. So, Michelle, you're up 120.14. So, thank you for your donation via the Cash app. And a message from your ancestors. We're actually using and we have the Ancestral Path Tarot. So, we will pull a card from there and then from this other tarot deck. So let's see here. What's their big message for you from your ancestors? Oh, that one. Oh, they're saying 1, 2, and 3. So you get three big honking cards from them. And then, all right, they want them spread like that. And then you get two cards under each as the card comes elevating out of the deck here. You got those two. And, oh, you don't want that one? All right. Got that one and this one here. All right. We got it here. So you got three ancestor cards. The first one you got is the Ace of Swords. So the ancestors definitely sharing their wisdom with you, and that it's a gift for you that you can see things. It's almost like they're saying you can choose one thing to ask clarity about in your life, and they'll give you a big high level picture of it and understand it. It's interesting, the bottom of the deck of the smaller ones, you've got the Nine of Swords, which is nightmare and insomnia card here. And with that, I feel like they're saying that we've been communicating with you through your dreams, through some intense dreams. They're not meant to be nightmares, but they're so intense that you remember them once you wake up. If you haven't had those recently, then they're coming, and that's good preparation to know these aren't meant to be spooky, scary, but just intense enough to where your human brain will remember it when you wake up so you can bring it into the physical world, the waking world, instead of just the sleeping world. And with this Ace of Swords, they're saying we can bring you clarity around one thing that you're dying to know about. They're like, ask and we'll grant that. It's like a wonderful gift. Underneath that, you do have, well, the Justice card and the Fool card. I like it because on the Justice card, here's the Ace of Swords. That helps bring clarity, that helps bring balance, that helps you cut away some small t truths. And the Fool card is a card of possibilities, getting out of your head and into possibilities because it follows the World card, which is the last card of the Major Arcana, which is an ending of a cycle, the beginning of a new adventure, clear of expectations, like a child before they're taught rules from adults. A child sees everything and anything as possible till we're taught to doubt possibilities by restrictions of all that stuff, right? So I like this. I feel like that's the first thing they have for you is this gift of the Ace of Swords, and heads up about the dream time communicating, but the purpose is to set you free from a lot of old mindsets that don't serve you anymore that have been restricting you. And then they want you to know, yeah, the Five of Swords, which helps between the battle between your head and your heart coming in here. And because the mind will try to restrict the heart with kind of imprison it in a way, and then they're like crying, "Just let me out of here." And so this as you release another mindset, another opinion, and another one, it kind of it's like a jailbreak for the heart because it's peeling away the bars, the thoughts that have been keeping it suppressed. So I feel like they want to celebrate what you have done in that area, but they're helping kind of juice it up and by kind of tur, turbocharging the um the release of those things. Underneath that, yeah, you've got 2 fours, the 4 of Wands, and the 4 of Pentacles. So, it's like there could be some beliefs around home and marriage kind of energy, um, And but beneath that, with that 4 pentacles, it is also clarity around how we're defining ourselves by the 3 buckets of the outside world, which are relationships, situations like our jobs, education, social status, marital status, and, things, right? Our bodies, our bank accounts, and etcetera. So I feel like that's kind of the underlying way below the surface, but the 2 ways that it's coming up with, like, kind of the 2 subjects that seem to be at the forefront are marriage and home, physical residence, like where I'm living, how I'm living, renting, purchasing, am I living in a different location? Do I wanna move house? Um what should the house be and what should it have in it? No, that's where we can get a little frazzled in our human expression, right? So I feel like those are two. And then the last one we've got is the magician. I do love this for you because the magician, one, it's you're powerful, you grow and create and draw into your life that which you focus upon. So, number 2 is I need to know what I wanna focus on so that I can grow it. If I'm not, then I'm unconsciously my magic is just growing things based on old conditioning, old patterns, old ways of thinking, and if I consciously change that and I'm consciously choosing where I'm investing my energy, they're like, it's as humans, we don't realize it till we're on the other side how powerful our energy is. We're not in the back seat of a car being driven around. We're the driver of the bus. That's why so many of us end up in a ditch because we think someone else is driving. That's funny. They go, "I think that's bad. Just try horse and buggies. That's even worse." The horses just take you wherever they wanna go. But the third thing with the magician card is you have everything you need within you, and it's understanding the elements. It's understanding how important our story is. The story I'm putting to every moment, the emotion I'm choosing to go with that, the energy and intention, what's behind it, who am I being, where's my frequency, and then what's the energy behind the physical actions I'm taking. All of that is what creates our reality that draws things toward us. So I feel like they're wanting to bring that to you. And then below the surface, yeah, again, they're returning back to the all this swords energy, putting your mind at rest by this ace of swords that they're sleeping on here. And the eight of swords is that energy, like I was talking about before, about you've been letting go of thoughts and beliefs and mindsets that don't serve you anymore. And a kudos, congratulations for doing that. Um, and you're like on the verge of going, I'm sick and tired of trying to live up to everyone else's expectations. And I'm ready to be so true to my authentic self. And you've been, like I said, you've been chunking away at this stuff like a say like a bat out of hell. And they're celebrating that. And they're like, there's just a few more things to really big impactful things that you're ready to release that will open things up. But so I love this information for you here. And since your donation was $5 or more, you do get a Oracle of the Rift Walker for your fortune cookie. So let's see what else they have to add in here. All right. So you've got ashes of the first fire. Wow, look at that. And it says, "What burned made way for purpose. You are not the ash, you are what rises from it." Ooh, the phoenix, right? Scorpio energy. Let's see here. So the invocation for this, I was there when it ended. I am what remains after the roar. From ruin I root. From cinder I call, not to rebuild what was, but to become what must be. Ooh, I like that. So this card arrives in the aftermath. When the smoke has cleared and you're left holding the remnants of something that once defined you. The first fire may have been a foundational wound, a dramatic ending, a shattered identity, or even a voluntary sacrifice. Whatever it was, it changed you forever. And now, standing in the ashes, you're being asked not to grieve the loss of the fire, but to listen to what the ashes want. Ooh, not to let's see. You're being asked not to grieve the loss of the fire, but to listen to what the ashes want. Interesting. So this card signals a time of powerful transformation, the birth of a new self from what has been destroyed, the end of an era, contract, or illusion, a soul memory of who you were before the fire and who you must become. You are starting over, you are starting from. I like that. The shadow of this card, you may be clinging to the past version of yourself or grieving a loss so deeply that you can't yet see the purpose it made space for. Or you may be trying to rush your rebirth, skipping the sacred stillness that ashes require. In shadow, this card may also speak to self sabotage, burning down what you love before it can abandon you. Let the ashes teach you. You don't need to rise yet. You only need to listen. Fun, right? And then there is, let's see, there's three, you have three reflection questions. So, what has burned away in my life and what is beginning to grow in its place? Am I trying to return to something that no longer exists? Can I trust that even this destruction was part of my becoming? How fun. The fire. What a beautiful card, though. I love that. Beautiful, beautiful. So that is what they have for you, my dear. Thank you again so much for your donation. I love your ancestors. All right. And then Alex, you're up 132.23. Look at those little beautiful, beautiful mirroring 3223. So I like that. Right? I love it too. Boom, boom. All right. So, Alex, let's take a look here. How does Ian feel about you? Let's see here. We'll get a message from the ancestors. What would they like to pipe in about with your relationship or interactions with Ian? And then let's see here with this other deck. How does Ian currently feel about you? Got that. Got that. Got that. And those. I think I want those two. All right. So, of course, we'll honor the ancestors and let's let them speak first here. Yeah, we got the Emperor. It's a beautiful Aries energy. It is the power here. I like that they're speaking and saying, because the Emperor clears the throne room, kind of get out of your head and into your heart and go, what does my heart want? And then I put a plan together and then I put action behind it. But it's like you get to choose kind of energy coming in here. So I feel like they're saying for your lifetime, you don't have like a fated relationship where um if you don't um like regardless of the paths you take, there's not someone that's overlaid across your entire lifetimes. It's like if you make these choices, you end up with this person. If you make these choices, you end up with this person. If you make these choices, you end up with this person. If you make these choices, you end up, screw it, I want to be alone, So it is the power of choice energy that the ancestors, so they're kind of peeking at your life map and going, Psst, just so you know, there's not a fated one. You get to choose from your moment to moment choices who you end up with. So there's no wrong choice, just different choices with different outcomes. So I'd like that. Sometimes that takes the pressure off where we're like, oh God, what if I don't do something right and then I miss the love of my life? One, whoever's meant for us doesn't pass us by. But regardless of, whatever paths we're taking, we're going to end up with someone. Or if we end up alone, if we choose that path, um, we don't feel lonely. We're choosing it on purpose with our choice by choice moments where we're like, I'm good. We're not like, I want somebody and I feel alone. It's not like that. So I like that coming in. And oh, I didn't give you your donation, a love and a like. Here, let me do that. All right. So the underlying energy of your entire reading, you do have sorry, not king, the Knight of Pentacles. So the underlying energy around Ian is they seem to be a slow mover. Like they don't rush to get anywhere, to get, you know, act on things. They kind of like the slow movement. They like to make sure, they like to feel safe. They like to, take their time. They're not like rushing kind of energy. So that below the surface is good to know. It's not about, you know, just us. It's about everything in their life. They're kind of that way. They kind of have a core belief things slowly built are last forever, and it's best to take your time to make sure before you leap because you avoid a lot of hurt. And that's kind of the core of it is I want to avoid pain. I want to avoid not, losing my praise. So I try to take my time. Let other people go forward. You can see by their mistakes what we can, what we can avoid. It's pretty smart, but it's also kinda rooted in fear of failure too. Alright, but how does he feel about you? That's underlying energies. We do have the Ace of Wands, so there is an attraction there, both energetic and physical, along with the Two of Swords. Yeah, that's the battle between their head and their heart, which means their heart is involved, but the mind is really keeping the heart on a leash, not letting them act, right? That's that whole Knight of Pentacles. You ever see those kids that have little harnesses walking around in a mall or at the park? At first you think it's a dog and then you realize it's their toddler. You know, this is what their brain has on the heart. No, 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 get back here. you know. Below that, we do have the Five of Wands. There is some fear here. I feel like there's something going on with I don't know if you guys have the same friends or you guys are friends. There's something here about one of the fears and why they hold back is they don't wanna ruin a friendship or friendships. So I feel like that's an added factor below the surface, or like it's kind of that energy. If we work together or we're friends or we're part of a friends group, we feel if I get into a relationship and if I pursue my heart that things blow up and I lose more than just a romantic partner. I lose a friend or friends or it becomes uncomfortable at work, kind of things, depending on which of those applies. But I feel like that's kind of the part of the conflict that's below the surface. Something has been building here. You got one card, then two cards, then three cards. Yeah, I got the Empress. So, yeah, there is a lot of emotion below the surface with the Empress. She rolls over all four queens offer cups behind the scenes, plus the Queen of Cups. So there's five parts emotion coming towards the Empress, one part fire, one part earth, one part air. But the Empress, there's this voluptuousness, the sensuality, there's all that emotional energy that kind of unseen. And I feel like you've been taking time to nurture yourself right now, right? um, you're saying, could that be with another person? You mean the conflict that they're having? I feel like this has to. Oh, you mean like they're afraid it would ruin something with another person? Because I don't feel like that energy is like this is towards you because we're talking about the feelings towards you. But if they feel like it'll ruin a relationship with someone else or a friendship with someone else, yeah, that's kind of what we're talking about. Hopefully that makes sense. But I do feel like you've been taking care of yourself and focusing on your self-care here. But I do feel like there's a lot of that emotional energy below the surface that may or may not be spoken about. I kind of feel like it's hidden here, at least in that beginning. Yeah, we got the Queen of Swords. Again, the Nine of Wands is a little bit of a barrier holding them back, right? And the Queen of Swords is a great example. She's a beautiful balance between head and heart. She rolls over the mental suit, but behind the scenes, she has cups. So again, this communication, this, this kind of friendship, out here, but there's a lot of emotion that's not being shared that seems to be here, which is leading to these 3 cards. Yeah. Feels here they got a lot of this nightmare and insomnia going on here. A lot of this is their fears that are holding things back. And I feel like it's the fear of abandonment, the fear of being left behind. Um, and we got the 8 of Pentacles too. There is something here to do with 8 of Pentacles is transformation, but this feels like putting in the blood, the sweat, the tears, you get the reward. But I feel like that's where the little conflict kind of comes in because they're like, it could be worth it, but I'm also scared to do this too. Um, because what if it doesn't work out, you know, kind of energy. So that's the big fear is the stuff not working out. Let's see, you got 2 more cards and then 1 card here. Yeah. Again, we got the Page of Swords, the Page of Wands. Page of Swords is they're trying to wait for clarity. The Page of Wands is their passion is growing because an action. So I feel like they're doing a lot of let's go, do stuff and that kind of energy. It's not emotional energy being expressed, but kind of that exciting, passionate kind of energy. But they're waiting for clarity before they're really wanting to be able to act on their true passions and different things here too. Hmm. Yeah, because I do feel like here's the 5 of Cups. This is this. I've had I've have stuff that I cried over before, and I feel like they're kind of stuck in the past of some old situations that didn't turn out well. And I almost feel with this 5 of Cups too, they're waiting for emotions to change. I almost feel like they're waiting for your emotions to change. I don't know if in their mind, it kind of feels like you might have had a breakup or you might have had something sad going on. They're like, well, this isn't a good time. Let me wait until you're past this, emotional place. But I feel like it's more of a mirror. They think it's you, but it's them that needs to get over some old emotional stuff before they're ready. But they're going, no, it's you. It's like, no, no, it's you, Ian. It's just a mirror. That's what a mirror does. So I feel like it's that Knight of Pentacles. Feels like it's just going to take time for them to choose, but it depends on what data, they're kind of gathering as we're going along as well, because they're going to totally be watching. What are they picking up? What are they feeling? What are they witnessing? Kind of energy. Hopefully that makes sense to you there. Let's see what your fortune cookie is because yours was I think it's €5. I don't know the rate of exchange. I'm just going to give you one of these anyway. The Oracle of the Rift Walker. And let's see what we've got here. So in addition, we've got the Waning Oaths. Interesting. Waning Oaths. Number 21, which says the slow fading of promises once held sacred, now gently released into the midst. So this feels like are one of you guys with someone? Oh, will he move on with someone new? Oh, did you guys break up? Well, here's Waning Oaths. Let's see what this is about here. It says, "Once I vowed beneath the stars with fire and breath and blood. Now those words dissolve like dawn midst, not broken, but quietly set free." So waning oaths speaks to the natural, gentle fading of old commitments, soul contracts, and beliefs. These are promises or burdens that once served you, perhaps made in desperation, love, or fear, but now their power wanes like a retreating tide. So I feel like when you're asking, will they move on with someone new? I feel like they will here, but I feel like it takes time. Like it says, it's waning. It's like slow, and that makes sense with the pentacles. It's slowly moving away because they're slow in that progression kind of energy. So this card invites you to recognize what no longer binds you, not through force, but through grace and acceptance. It's about honoring the past while allowing the old vows to dissolve, creating space for new paths and truths. When this card appears, consider what promises or loyalties have quietly lost their meaning. Which inherited beliefs or bonds are gently releasing their hold? And how can you consciously welcome this soft unraveling? You're being called to step lightly into freedom, embracing the space between endings and beginnings. Wow. The shadow, in the shadow, waning oaths may reveal resistance to letting go, holding on out of guilt, fear, or obligation. It warns against ignoring the slow erosion of old contracts and the emotional fatigue that can follow. Beware of pretending that bonds remain strong when they're already unraveling beneath the surface. For reflection questions, you can ask, what promises in my life have dimmed, not from betrayal, but from time and change? Am I holding on to something out of duty, fear, or nostalgia rather than truth? Where have I stayed silent to preserve peace, even when the bond had already begun to fray? And lastly, what do I fear will happen if I release this oath, connection, or belief fully? Interesting. So, hopefully that helps. I don't know if you're wanting to try to get back together or not, or you're hoping that they'll move on, or, but I feel like both of you might be out of obligation and out of fear of not finding love again, and maybe familiarity. Whoever's holding on, and if it could be both of you too, it's like what's meant for us won't pass us by, right? Oh, I like that. I like that energy. It does feel like they're not in a rush to get away, and there still is a lot underneath there that they're afraid to share. This totally makes sense now. Had I known you guys broken up, I would have put a whole different um focus on it, but I feel like that's good that we didn't know, because I feel like you got the pure what's going on with them, right? So I like that. So that's what they have for you, my dear. Thank you again for your donation. I greatly appreciate that. All right, let's see. We had some more visitors come in here. Let's see. Think we got right here. Yep. So we've got Cat Mia. Hello, Cat Mia. Good to see you. Whoops. Try that again. There we go. Get you on the free list here. And we got Chelsea. Hey. Got you here onto the free list. Good to see you as well. And we got Moonlight in the house. Hey. Thank you for your donation. You'll actually be up next, because I think I had all these. So, so cheers, cheers, everybody. I think I'm getting low on my coffee here. Turn that down a little there. All right. So, Moonlight, good evening or morning to you, depending on where. If it's past midnight, maybe. All right. So thank you for your donation. You got your little vibe sticker. You want to know, how is H feeling about you these days? Do they appreciate your time together? Do they wish to slowly go forward with you? All right, let's see here. We'll pull from the Ancestral Path Tarot first. All right, thank you. And then we'll pull from the tarot. So, how are H's feelings about you these days? First, here's the feelings. And then, do they wish to slowly go forward with you? I imagine that's a yes already here, because the message from your ancestors is the 7 of sacred circles, which is the 7 of pentacles, which is the last thing that grows on the fruit tree is the fruit. Go slow, is an energy that's coming in here, and, like, I feel like whether they want to go slowly or not, they're like, "Go slow," because I feel like the 7 of Pentacles does tell us at some point when we start to see the fruit, we're kinda like, "Meh, is that really what I'm looking for?" And energies, well, you got the King and the Queen of Pentacles, you got the dream come true energy. We got all this kind of, this is the dream come true that I can find my match, kind of energy. But but the King of Pentacles being the primary energy also brings in kind of this awareness of our worth, right? This beautiful reflection of how am I defining myself by relationship situations and things. And it's a good testing ground as you've been building your foundation inward and upward, right? Since you've been kind of hermiting a bit over this last year or so. um, it's time to see how, when I put what I've learned into practice, and it's okay. That's how we learn. It's like learning to drive standard on a vehicle, with the clutch and all that. We're gonna kill the car sometimes, because we're learning to drive, and then you learn how to be able to stop on a hill without going backwards and running into other cars. We learn as we go through experiences, and we figure things out. And I kind of feel like that's what the 7 of Pentacles kind of brings in as well. What are the current feelings for you these days? We have the Tower card. Yeah, there is this fear of getting blasted out, a sudden departure, right? So I do feel they fear that if they make a mistake, that they'll get ostracized, this fear of abandonment, this fear of being not abandoned so much as blasted out of someone's life. We got the Chariot card, so here's your Cancer moon energy coming in. So they definitely love this, this is a victory. They love your emotion. They love, that mothering, nurturing quality around with that. And there is that in action energy. Two major arcana here. Let's see what else we have here too. Yeah, the Knight of Cups, movement of emotion. So they do have that emotional energy towards you. And I do feel here with the Six of Swords, there has been this energy of leaving behind old ways of thinking, um, that has allowed them to move, like, mentally from choppy waters to calmer waters, but they still have this fear of the Tower card. But they've been working on it. You probably, if you've been interacting with them, I feel like you've been noticing some slight changes, not like, oh, night and day, but some changes. Do they appreciate your time together? Yeah, you got the Empress card. So here's all that mother nature, mother nurturing energy again. Yeah, they definitely appreciate that side, um, because they just feel so much emotional energy, which is what just pours out of you, being that with that Cancer moon energy, right? But I do feel like they do. They feel that's harvest, that's, sensuality, that's great abundant energy. So I do feel like they do. And then the card we actually picked for, do they wish to go slowly forward with you? We got the 3 of cups, and I do feel like slowly forward because I do feel like they have with that 3 of cups, there's another interest, that they're with right now too, and I feel like they're just kinda seeing what's unfolding between, you know, the 2 individuals, you and that other person. So I feel like they're kinda just seeing what unfolds, and that's also why they're kind of taking it slow because 'cause they're just seeing which one seems the most promising, which one seems like with that 7 of Pentacles, which one is bearing the fruit that I feel, is what I'm wanting. So, I feel like that's also why they're kinda slowly going forward with you there. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in. What was that? Oh, that was, the little thing on the wall. Can't say their name or they'll activate. Scared me. That probably means my host got a package. All right. Yeah, adventure. I like that. Just enjoy the adventure with them here. Live wild and free, baby. Live wild and free is what it says. So, no expectations, just enjoy the adventure, for what it is, right? So, I like that for you. So that's what they have for you, my dear. Thank you again for your donation. I appreciate it. All right. Hey, Abigail. No, actually, I just finished donations. I'm about to start free readings. Um, were you wanting to make a donation for a deep dive, or did you just want a free reading, which is more of a shallow dive? It's more of a wading in. It's not even really diving. It's a wading pool, usually. I'll throw you onto the free one for now, but if you make a donation, then that'll tell me you want a deeper dive. All right. So I think that is it for my donations currently. So I'm going to jump in and complete some free readings here. If I do get any donations, I will jump out and complete those and prioritize them as I do. So Mini Heal, you are up 157.35 is the first free reading. Here you go. And is there any major meaning, meaningful celebration gathering coming in soon? All right, let's take a look here. So we got that, and we got this one. Any meaningful celebration? Like a celebration of life, like a funeral? No, I don't think so here. Um, because we have the death card. I don't think it's that. Because the death card feels like there's more this ending of expectations of supposed to be and should be and need to be and have to be. I feel like a lot of what's happening right now is this release. So I feel like, there can be things that come in, but I feel like the focus is clearing away some old mindsets, right? Because as we clear those away, I think it it does open up opportunities. It feels like where, I don't see this invitation, this celebration because my expectations aren't open to it. But if I let some go, then I have access to it. So hopefully that makes sense. So some expectations, some supposed to be's, that when we release those, then that does open the flow. And then I do believe a celebration, meaningful celebration does come in. Um, Or, I mean, I don't feel like it's, someone passing in a celebration of someone's life, but y you I feel like it's more the other than that. So, that is what they have for you, Mini Heal. So many blessings to you. Alright, got you, Abigail. Very good. Then Maria P., you are up 159.32. So, Maria, here's your timestamp. Thank you for your donations earlier and a general for you for love. Cards flying out here and work. So for love, yeah, you're definitely transformational energy. You're in this process of seeing things differently, seeing things from a higher perspective, letting some old ways of thinking about love pass away. So it's cocooning. It's a beautiful transformational, transitional energy. So I do feel like you're at an important juncture in your love life where you guys are changing and evolving to something more. Um, More clarity, more emotional expression, not expectations of, "Oh, does that mean this is gonna happen and this is gonna" it's not that, it's evolution of your communication, of your emotional expression, even physical interactions, your passions. So I feel like that's changing. Even intentions seem to be evolving and clarifying, which is all positive. For work-wise, ooh, gonna some nakedness. Guess I can do it this way. There we go. Whoop, nope, can't show that either. Okay, so we got the Lovers card with some naked people on it, um, which is the power of choice. Again, this is that energy of what is it? You get to choose. Are you gonna choose from your heart or choose from your mind? It's that power, lower vibration emotion or higher vibration emotion. Am I gonna choose work out of fear or work out of expression of who I am? Powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being, right? So I feel like that's what they're saying about work, kind of what we said in I think both of your readings that came out that way, and they're bringing it in for the third time just to dot the I on live, not exist. I guess there's an I in exist too, but live. Live your love for work as well, filling up and overflowing. So I like that for you. So hopefully that helps. Maria, that is what they have for you. And then Blueberry, you are up 20151 coming in here. There we are. And you would like a general reading about one of your family's family friend who has a monitoring spirit and he interferes in our business as well. Oh, like they stick their nose in everybody's business. Cheers, cheers. All right. So let's see here. What does Spirit want you to know about them here? No, let me shuffle these up. So tell us about this family friend. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Yeah. I figured we got the Two of Cups energy and also, the 10 of Pentacles. The Two of Cups is about important relationships energy. And the 10 of Pentacles is like family and legacy and abundance. And it feels here that the root of their actions is they care, and it's almost like they feel like you guys are their family. They don't feel like they belong to their family. So they kind of see you guys as their family, and because they care so much, they overcare, and then they stick their nose in their business and they interfere in things because they feel like they're in some way they feel like they're helping when when someone tries to overhelp, like a little child tries to overhelp, they end up breaking stuff, and you're just like, I appreciate that you're trying to be helpful, but you're making a mess. We try not to say that to children. Well, it's their little inner child that's acting up, you know, with that. And I feel like that's the kind of the core where they're coming from is because they care. If they didn't care about you guys, they wouldn't it wouldn't bother with any of you. But they do feel like you are their family. They've adopted you as their family, and you guys there's nothing you can do about it now. But something that we can be aware of, everything happens for us. So when we're looking at them and we're like they have a monitoring spirit and they interfere with our business, how we can reflect that upon ourselves and go, how am I having a monitoring spirit about their life? What they're doing and not doing. I'm in their business. Well, they're interfering with our business. Well, in a way, if I'm concerned about what they're doing and not doing, what they're saying and not saying, that they're not doing things the way I think they should, I'm in their business. My business is how am I responding? What's the story I'm putting to things? What, is the motion I'm um, putting forward? What are my actions? I can control that. Can't control what they're doing or not doing, but I can control the story I'm creating around what they're doing and the emotions I have behind it. And um and I can only do what I can do in here. If like if every time I let them in the door, someone breaks something, I just stop letting them in the door and I'll meet them outside of my door. So if they're interfering with our business, well, who has the boundary? Who has the authority to put the boundary to talk to them to go, We can't have you do this anymore. Thank you for caring, but we need to kind of draw a line here." And if people are like, "Oh, we can't say that," well, then that's why they feel like they can do it, because obviously they don't have a self boundary around things, right? But it's like, that's not my business. Am I the one that needs to talk to them? No, then none of my business. I'm coming back to my own business. That can set you free as well. So some good reflection, if any of that resonates, of course. But that's what they have for you there. So that's what they have, Blueberry. So hopefully that helps. Many blessings to you. All right. Looks like we had some more people come in here. We've got Healing Sparsh, and we got May, and also Spiritual Soul. Hello, hello, everybody. I'm glad to have you here. Let me get you guys onto the free list here. And thank you, everybody, for all of you that are giving the stream a thumbs up. Is something you can do for free as well. That helps spread the Zen love. It gives my channel and me some love, and I definitely appreciate that. But you're part of the love tsunami, and you help other people um, have access and be able to see both my podcasts and these streams as well. So thank you guys for doing that. I appreciate that. All right, so I got you 3 added on, so we'll jump in. Let's see how we're at here. So we've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I just have 13 free readings on the list here. So you last 3, were the last, not the last, well, you're the last 3 on the list, of course. All right, so we'll take a sip here and jump back in. Cheers, cheers, everybody. All right. So we've got Ascending Universal Butterfly. Hello, hello. Thank you again for all your lovely comments in the chat. I appreciate those. And you have you'd like a message from for your ascension path. Any guidance? Let's take a look here. What would they like you to know about your ascension path? Well, patience, grasshopper, patience, or butterfly, patience, butterfly, patience. But that's from an old Kung Fu was the name of it with Dave. What's his name? Carradine? David Carradine? An old Kung Fu movie. But he had flashbacks to his master, and his master was always trying to teach him patience. And when he could walk on the rice paper without tearing it, then they knew he was ready to go on his next mission out into the world to kind of take what he's learned out into the world and apply it kind of energy. So I like it because the temperance card is, it's alchemy. It's going back and forth, slow temperament, alchemy, which suddenly turns into gold. And the 7 of Pentacles is also a patience card with the last thing that grows on the fruit tree is the fruit. So in a way, they're like, we are eternal beings. You're already ascended in a way. And so there's some good clarity that comes in with this butterfly because, you know, our human side of us and our human history and our human ancestors and everyone tried to define things and we have like from very early in our histories this foundation of that we're imperfect and we're working towards perfection. It keeps everyone busy, it keeps everyone trying to achieve, and Also, it allows people to have power over others when they're saying, "Oh, you haven't achieved. You need our forgiveness for 9.99, or you need to take this special course." I'm just trying to think of something like back in the, you know, way back times. It's like, "Well, if you will become my servant or become my student and pay me, I will teach you how to get to ascension." A lot of that power tripping going on. When spirit is what they shared with me is we're already perfect mountains. We exist as an eternal being at billions of different frequencies, all the way up just before below the creator. We had to vibrate just below the creator's vibration to become separate to experience being away from creator so we could look back at creator and they could see themselves through us. And then we, being mini creators, wanted to see ourselves too, to understand ourselves. Not we're not they're not vain, we're not vain. Oh, I want to see myself. They were like, I want to understand myself. We also have all these little mini expressions of ourselves at all these lower vibrations to be able to see ourselves. And and as these beautiful perfect mountains we are, being at all these different elevations allows us to explore each elevation to understand that view of ourselves and also the creator from those viewpoints as well. So I feel like they're saying enjoy the adventure, don't worry about getting to an ascension, an official ascension, because we're already all those expressions. We're just exploring. We're not, we're getting to know who we are. We're not becoming something more. We already are perfect. We're just finding out the perfection of what we are from all these different vibrations. So hopefully that makes sense. But I like that because there is enjoy the adventure. We're eternal. There's no rush. We're gonna experience everything because we have the time. So, whether in this lifetime or another expression as a human or an animal or an alien on a different planet or in a different dimension or different universe or whatever, we have billions of expressions all over the place that we're experiencing in this moment. Our human is cut off where we can't connect to a lot of that. Otherwise, it'd probably explode. We don't have enough RAM in our brain to comprehend all these lifetimes yet. So, we haven't expanded into those areas of our human awareness yet. So we can only it's just enough to try to deal with our one personality, our one expression here. But I like that kind of a message of enjoy the adventure. Don't worry about trying to get anywhere in particular. Just randomly walk around the mountain and see who you are and enjoy. Just don't roll around naked in the poison ivy. All right. So that's what they have for you, butterfly. Hopefully that helps. Many blessings to you. Then we've got Lotus of Serendipity. You are up. So Lotus of Serendipity. Here is your timestamp. Hello, hello. Good day to you. It's Friday. So a general, please, whatever comes through. All right, thank you so much for the blessings and cheers to you as well. All right. Got that one here and this one here. All right. Wow, two major arcana. You do have the magician energy and the tower card coming in here. What I love about this is so the magician shows you your power, right? This is the infinity symbol, shows this is your higher self. You're reaching toward the heaven, you're the conduit with that pointing down. It brings the energy down into the world, right? So it just shows us how powerful we are. And when we're connected, it's almost like in the olden days, you would grab the antenna and raise your hand and, you know, is the television coming in yet before cable, right? That's what I kind of feel like with this magician is you can tune in to spirit. And once you're in tune with your higher self, and you're on that higher vibration, you can hear a tower moment coming into your life. You hear the countdown because there's not a ton of tower moments in our lives. but they're prearranged. Like, before we come down here, we tell our spiritual posse, if by this time this thing hasn't been removed, remove that out of my life, because then my next fated events, my next adventure begins after that. So this thing needs, by this absolute last day moment in my life, this needs to be removed. That's a tower moment. We don't have a ton of those, but if we're in tune with spirit, we can hear the countdown, and with our power, we can leap out of the tower instead of getting blasted out of it. If you ever look at the tower, you can see one person leaping. They're um, face forward, so you can tell they leaped out. This person is on their back, having been blasted out of the tower. So I love this message, because when we start hearing 10, 9, 8, we're like, "Oh, this thing is gonna get removed out of my life soon." So, I can either wait and get blasted out of it, which, don't feel guilty if we do. Most humans enjoy the shock treatment of that lightning bolt hitting the tower and us getting blasted out of it, because we like living things right up to the edge of it, right? But if we get tired of getting blasted out of things, when we stay in tune with spirit, we can hear that, and then you can leap out of a situation and go, "Nope, I'm leaving now. I've had enough electric shock therapy. I think I'm sane enough for now." But I like that for you. So that's what message they have for you right now. Lotus of Serendipity. Many blessings to you. All right. Then we have Christina Lowe. Hey, Christina, you are up. Here is your timestamp. So, Christina, any chance you'll get a boyfriend soon? Right? So, based on current energies, call you crazy. You are crazy. What are you thinking? Aren't you at peace? And you're like, no. But I want someone to hang out with and laugh about stuff and watch birds with and just authentically be with. And that's a boyfriend? Yeah, does it have to be a boyfriend, or can it be just a best friend? Well, let's see here. Based on your current energies, any boyfriend soon? Well, we've got the Two of Pentacles, which is more of this balancing energy. Let's see what your other cards are here too. Let me see. I'll cover up a little willy here, because you also have the Devil card and the Ace of Wands that comes in here. And I feel here, I mean, you could have a boyfriend, but it would be mostly Ace of Wands. They wouldn't be someone that is just gonna sit in authenticity. Um, you know, I feel like they wouldn't watch birds. I don't feel like they're gonna be spiritually connected. I feel like they're gonna be more passionately connected. Because the Devil card does say that there is some of that shadow work that still needs to happen with this Two of Pentacles to balance things out, for you to draw in someone. Because if right now it's, if you do what you've always done, then you're gonna draw in what you've always drawn in, and we don't want that. Um, so in order to, have this kind of relationship that's higher vibrational, there are some mindsets, some thoughts and beliefs and mindsets around love, around individuals, that has to get cleared away, that has to be questioned and released in order for you to cut away those chains, so that you can be, um, at that higher vibration relationship wise. You've moved up your love vibration in different other areas of your life. When it comes to relationships, that is I feel like that's the thing that's kind of been blocked away from everything else, and you're just kinda like, "Well, that's over there. I'm gonna work on all this stuff. That's over there." Well, now I want something like that, and it's like, but that's gonna have those old zombie monsters in it." We don't want zombie monsters, we want a higher spiritual kind of energy. So I feel like there's some things with this, if you want a different, higher vibrational relationship, there's some, you know clarity to come in around expectations around relationship, supposed to be's and should be's and need to be's, releasing yourself from things, raising your self love, will draw those things in. Because if you can't be happy with yourself, you can't be happy in another relationship with someone else. And I feel like that is that'll be the thing that you'll be able to go, "Okay, I'm ready." Because I feel like if you said now, "Oh, no, I'm ready now, I'm happy about myself." I don't know that you are with this energy that's coming in. It's like you're happy with family, you're happy with this, but when you're off just by yourself sitting, I feel like there is that empty feeling, and I feel like that's what you wanna feel with self-love first, and then you fill up, and then that draws in someone that can be this here. But I feel like they're saying, "Yeah, right now you're kind of in a pause with relationships, and but the more you raise your love vibration, the faster they can come forward towards you." So, hopefully that helps, my dear. I know, I know. But that's what they have, so many blessings to you. Alright. And then we got Samya Rao. You are up 220.58. So, Samya, I always assume I'm saying that right, but I'm probably not even close. So my apologies if I'm mispronouncing your name. So you want to know if your husband, the Aquarius, will they get a job from company A, which he interviewed for? Next week, he might have last round of interview. When can you expect the offer? All right. So number one, based on current energies, um, will he get the remote job he interviewed for? And then next week, he might have a last round interview. When can you expect an offer? So let's see. If he gets it, we'll pull a when card to see what they say here. This one right here. All right. Well, I feel here we've got the 5 of swords energy here, which, will he get this job? You know, there is it's competition. You can see that he beat some people because people are walking away with their swords on the ground, and he is the winner. It's a change here. Let's see what this says here. We do have the Knight of Swords, which again, this movement energy that comes in here. It is a yes energy. And it has January 10th to February 8th, which, of course, that's way long ago, but this is Libra, Aquarius, Gemini energy. Gemini is, Gemini is May 20th to June 20th, is it not? I believe so. Um, so, that is the energy that would come in here with because it's Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. Aquarius, of course, we're past that already. But Gemini, because Taurus, yeah, because after Taurus is Gemini. So that comes up here like May 20th to June 20th, I feel is when they get the offer with this here. I do feel like it feels like tough competition. But in the end here, I feel like um, I feel like they win out because all this night fighting energy and the 5 of swords is a conflict energy. Um, I feel like they do win out here. I feel like there's something what are they trying to tell us about conflict? Because you don't interview, they don't have, like, Thunderdome where 5 applicants walk in and only 1 walks out. It's not but that's kinda what it feels like. But I feel like they're really gonna zero in on conflict management, it feels like, for this, how do you resolve conflict? With teammates, with systems, or whatever they're interviewing for, or both. If it has to do with systems, they might even go into, well, how do you deal with conflict when there's conflict with another employee or another teammate or peer or boss energy. And if you're able to share that with your husband, you can just say, just be prepared. They might have one of these little you know, curveball questions. So, give us an example of a time when you had a disagreement with your boss, and what did you do? And they're not looking for, to set anyone up for failure. They want to look at approach, open-mindedness, and what you learned from that. And so if it was a bad outcome, what you learned from it and how you applied it later and end up with a better result. Like you can go, oh, there's this one the one time that really stands out where I learned the most was when my bosses wanted to do this and I did not agree and I thought they didn't know what they were doing. And so I told them this and that and I resisted. And then I realized later that I wasn't seeing things clearly, and had I taken the time to listen without getting defensive, blah, blah, blah. And then I had a situation that happened later where I remembered and I da 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 da, and it's like, wow, so I feel like preparing for that kind of conflict question in the interview can help them. So have them be prepared. If he's like, I can't remember one, just think of like, what does he do well? And then why does he do it well? Because chances are the reason why we do something well is because we really screwed something up and we learned the hard way and we became an expert at it. So we can kind of reverse engineer and go back to like, oh yeah, I remember now why I learned how to do that. So hopefully that helps. You can take that as you will. But I like it. So that's what they have for you, Samuel. So many blessings to you. And then we got Olivier Vergara. Look at you and all your twos returning back again. You almost had all twos. 2, 26, 22. So you'd like a love reading for this month. Let's see here. What does Spirit have for you regarding love for this month? I wanted this one too. All right. Well, it's worth the wait. You have the Seven of Pentacles here and the King of Pentacles. Whenever we get a slow moving card, like, a patience card, which the Seven of Pentacles is one of those, the last thing that grows on the fruit tree is the fruit. When they give us the other card, the King of Pentacles, it shows here that, it feels like the month of May, the remaining, oh my God, it already passed a week in May. So we got the remaining 3 weeks seem to be more so about reflecting on your self-worth. The King of Pentacles, one of the big things they learn is from the Four of Pentacles, because the king, of course, experiences all of the Pentacles suit one by one from the ace all the way up through the queen to them. And they learn from the Four of Pentacles that when they define themselves by the 3 buckets of the outside world, which are relationships or career or in education, or things, our bodies, our bank account, our possessions, we feel unstable because all those things are. So it points us back inward and upward. And I feel like this month is more, reinforcing that my worth comes from who I am, powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being, made of unconditional love. That is the core of my worth, not what someone does or doesn't do, says or doesn't say. And I feel like it's like your cement is drying on that kind of expansion of your self-worth, of your self-love that's been growing and growing and growing. And it's like just a little while longer to let that set and to expand, because it will draw in a different type of love. It'll draw in a different type of experience because of that too. So continue to, raise that awareness of what are my expectations? Where do I feel I'm failing? Where do I feel things are not happening fast enough? And what kind of beliefs do I have around those things? Because those are the things that you can release this month that will just start speeding up and drawing that love towards you. Otherwise, like we said before, right? I don't want to continue to do what I've always done and draw in what I had before. Right? I want something higher. So it's worth the wait, right? So I like that for you. Right? That's what they have for you, Olivier. So many blessings to you. All right. And then we have Rahul. You are up to 29:15. So Rahul, here is your timestamp. All right, Olivier. Hello. So Rahul, you want to know, will you succeed both exam groups currently you're dealing with? All right, let's take a look here. You're welcome, Olivier. So we'll do for number 1 exam and number 2 exam, and that'll be whatever that is to you. So number 1 exam to you Yeah, we got the 2 of Pentacles. This is it's a balanced energy. I kind of feel like that is a yes, if kind of energy. If you stay balanced going into the first exam, if you go in stressed and fearful and anxious, you're gonna not be able to connect to your brilliant mind that has all the answers. So making sure you calm your bohiny down, breath work, do whatever breath work you can to, do that. And um, you know, incense, music, uh, lavender oils, essential oils, or whatever calms you down. Enter it in a calm, and you'll be able to just connect to your mind. If you start getting anxious during the exam, because when we go into fight or flight mode, our inner child pulls the alarm and boots out our intelligent, loving, compassionate side, and that's the one way that has the answers. So we want to be able to calm down and bring and reconnect to that mind rather than have a little hissing cat, like a little cat down there taking the test. Because we don't want a 2-year-old and a cat taking a test. We want our adult, mature, intelligent, studied self to take the test, right? So that's it for number 1. Number 2, yeah, number 2 feels really good. Queen of Pentacles, abundance, harvest, a big affirmative yes on number 2. Number 1 seems the one. I feel like if you get the first exam through, then you go into the second one smooth like a cucumber, and things go well for the second one, for sure. The first one is the one you gotta balance before you're going in, right? So looking good. I feel like you can calm yourself down, so you will be good there. So many blessings to you. All right. Hey, Blueberry, you're very welcome. I think you are right. You try to create healthy boundaries around yourself and your family, and you're right about the excess. Oh, that he has and that he's using the excess. Ah, okay. So yeah. So you're like, I can only do so much, right? It's whoever the head of the family that is friends with them that needs to do the boundary making. That's not on you, right? So cheers, cheers. All right. And up next, we got Softly Me. Hello, hello. Welcome back, my dear. Hope you're continuing to have a wonderful flow in your day. We are into Aquarius moon energy for a couple of days. So you might feel kind of in a different, less emotional place with all that air energy, but you might get caught up in your head a little bit. So try to stay out of your head. But you'd like a love reading. Let's see. What does Spirit want you to know about love right now? All right. Yeah, I figured you were gonna get something like the important thing right now with love, with the Hermit card, is stay out of relationships for now. The 5 of Swords is understanding the conflict, right? It's, let me understand what's going on below the surface. Let me take a step back and kind of just look and go, all right, let me just kind of look at all of my relationships I had, friendships, family, lovers, whoever. And where has the conflict been? Let me just write down what are the things that disturbed me the most? What are the things that I feel like hurt about, angry about? And write them all out, but do it by subject. Subject one, mother. Subject two, brother. Subject three, best friend. You know, you can kind of put those in there, and you're going to see trends that have, especially from childhood, that have been echoing out since then. And this 5 of Swords is like taking the time to look at how I've changed, but also how things have echoed since I was young. All these messengers trying to show me these old emotions from when I was 7 years old or younger that I'm ready to transform because I'm tired of having them echo out in all these relationships and being mirrored back to me. So rather than keeping the same loop going and doing what I've always done and experience what I've always experienced. Spirit is saying, "And if you would like, you can still go back and go to another stepping stone and go in circles again if we want." I know I did 5 times, so I don't judge. And sometimes I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, and I like to learn things the hard way. And that's okay if we do. But they're saying you could take this time. You not should. There's no shoulds from spirit. They're like, consider you could take time away from any relationships and just do that inner work. Look at, why do I keep choosing and drawing in the people that I do? Because there's something I can learn from this. Great book, if you're interested, if you haven't read it, is Deepak Chopra's A Path to Love. It's one of my life-changing ones that they're bringing back to my head here. That was, like, after I'd finished my 5 relationships. I pretty much was a serial monogamist where I just went from relationship to relationship until the end. I had a 3-year break between number 4 and number 5, but then after number 5, it was like, "Alright, time to look and reflect. What? Why?" Kind of energies, and you do learn a lot. You free yourself from a lot of things, and then you're able to draw in a higher vibrational relationship that, as you raise your self-love, it draws in there. So I feel like that's kind of the where we're at right now, regarding love, is they're recommending that you could consider just focus on your self-love and reflect on what you learned, because everything did happen for you. There's a gift in every situation that's showing you something that you can be freed from and transformed. It's like cutting away all these, chains and ball and chains that are slowing you down and making it so difficult to walk. So you free yourself, you're like, wow, life becomes so much easier when you don't have all that stuff dragging behind you. So hopefully that helps, my dear. That's what they have for you. So many blessings to you. Right. And then Kat Mia, you are up. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Here is your timestamp. And you want to know, will C be accurate at least 50% for the next 1 year? All right, let's take a look here. Thank you. Based on current energies, I like this, at least 50%. Um, we got the Chariot card, which is the power of choice, 50-50, right? Because it could go here or it could go here, right? And the Hierophant is, there's a lot of fluctuation. So I feel like, if you took the average, um, I definitely feel possibility energy here with the Hierophant. But I feel like it's gonna be so fluctuating the next year that it's gonna go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and I feel like they're going, where it stops, nobody knows, because there's so many choices to be made between now and then that, you know, I feel like sometimes it's more than 50%, other times it's less than 50%, and other times it, is right at 50%, and they go, the average, there's so much to be undetermined by it. Um, so I hope that helps. It's funny that they brought it in that way. Sorry, I'm sliding off of my chair. That's coming in here, but there's a lot to be learned with this Hierophant next year. It's the master of change, the master of learning, the master of seeing things differently. So I do feel like if everything stayed the same now for a year, we could see something, but there's going to be changes that get made to whatever this is over next year. So they're like, there's too many possibilities for us to say absolutely yes or no. There's a lot of change coming regarding this next over the next year. So hopefully that helps, Kat Mia. That's what they have for you right now. Many blessings. And then Chelsea, you're up to 3930. So Chelsea, here's your timestamp. So you'd love to be on the free list. You're super curious why you replied to your comment via DM instead of on his post. He has 60,000 followers, so not sure if that matters. And it was a nothing comment. Oh, all right. Let's see here. What was the energy behind this? Did you do it consciously? Subconsciously? Oh, why Jay replied to your comment via DM, not how you did. So why did they? I thought it said I. I'm gonna start wearing my contacts, I believe. Why Jay replied to your comment via DM on his post instead of publicly, because it was a nothing post, right? All right, let's take a look here. Yeah, I mean, you got the Sun card here and the Seven of Pentacles. Slow growth. You know, this bright sun shining growth energy and the slow growth energy, I feel like they did it because they have a belief that if I have a lot of DM interactions, that the algorithm sees this and sees it as activity more than a comment on a post, and it does something. I feel like they believe it does something to their algorithm where it, you know, does this, triggers something to get them out in front of more people. I just feel like there's something about that that impacts it there. Because he said it's nothing comment, so it wasn't like it doesn't feel like there's this, any mysterious, I'm trying to connect. I feel like they just do that and answer some of them. And it also feels like there's a little bit of where I'm answering it from and how, like if they do it on their tablet or they do it versus their phone or versus a computer, I feel like it defaults to answering it that way. They have something set. We're like, "Oh, I'll just do it this way." Choo, 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 choo. Um, and also if I'm replying, this is interesting too. If I'm replying the same thing, cut and pasting in a way to a lot of people, if I do it via DM, it feels more personal versus if everyone sees me replying to the same comment over and over again. So, uh, that's interesting. So hopefully that helps there, Chelsea. But I feel like it's more that it's all about the growth of my that account kind of energy and how they were doing it. It doesn't feel like I'm wanting to, personally interact with someone. I feel like they're massively responding or they have someone else doing it, kind of thing as well. So hopefully that helps, Chelsea. That's what they got for you. So many blessings to you. Hey, Moonlight. Oh, that's right. You're out picking up your son. What a mom. What a mom. All right, many blessings. So Abigail, you're up 24333. Look at all those threes. I love it. So, is it too late to say a general reading for you and Trenton's relationship? All right, let's see. Based on current energies, what do they want you to know about Trenton and yours relationship? All right. So, yeah, I feel here, it's important for you to know with the Wheel of Fortune that this relationship is not an accident. There are no accidents. There's no, accidental relationships or meetings of people. There's always purpose behind it, and it is always for us. The tune of for you. So the Wheel of Fortune is telling you that, just to know that there's a purpose, and a big purpose with the Page of Swords is learning to communicate clearly, cutting away some thoughts and beliefs that don't serve you anymore, some expectations of supposed to be and should be and need to be and have to be and must be kind of energy with that. So, I feel like it's important for you to know that there is purpose, even if this feels like it's not long term. Um, yeah, because the bottom of the deck they had me check, you have the Eight of Cups, which is eventually you do walk away from this relationship with the Eight of Cups, but you do have marriage to someone else down the road with the Four of Wands too. But this is part of kind of like a stepping stone that you're learning a lot about communicating, being clear, deciding what you want, what you don't want, and clearing away expectations, old thoughts and beliefs that don't serve you anymore, so you don't take those into your relationship later. So it's a good testing ground where you're learning what works for you, what doesn't work for you, as well. But I don't feel like it's going to be a forever thing. It's just more of a temporary stepping stone to get you to the other side where your spouse resides eventually. So hopefully that helps, Abigail. That's what they have for you. So many blessings to you. No. No. Just to be clear, that's what a stepping stone is. When spirit brings it through, it's not meant to be forever, you're meant to learn through it, but you've got someone else down the road. So that was very clear from those cards that I was getting there. So, um, it's always an upgrade, and we're like, "Oh, but I don't wanna lose them." You're like, if you knew who was coming down the road, you'd be like, "Bye." Because it's always an upgrade. It's never, "Oh, I coulda had that, but I'm ending up with this." It's always a stepping stone, you know, upward. Um, it's like if you're like, "Well, I love my seat in coach. I don't wanna give that up, even if you can have a first class seat," the ones where they have the beds and everything else, you're like, "Oh, never mind, bye." But so hopefully that helps, alright? So that's what they have for you. Yeah. Well, when we're looking at, these energies, it's this is more about, well, if let me give you this podcast to check out here because we're going a bit deep for a free reading, but the Faded Love, if you watch that video, it tells you more about how the faded love and everything works, and I feel like that'll be clearer for you, if you watch that video because it talks about, you know, the mapping and how we have stepping stones and that it works through that way. So in a reading, when they're telling me, you learn to communicate, there's clarity and stuff that comes, but eventually something breaks down and but later in life you do have someone you meet that you marry that you're fated to marry, but I don't feel with these cards that it's that. So, um, we choose some of our destiny, um, and so you can that video will really clarify everything in there for you. So, I'm gonna refer you to that there rather than, dive deep because, like I said, we're in a free reading where we don't dive that deep into those things, um, that deep. So, I hope you understand. But you have all the information in that video anyway, so that'll help out. All right. So for the free readings, I have Healing Sparsh, May, Spiritual Soul, Moonlights, and then a Teshi. Hey Teshi, good to see you. And but I do have a donation from Moonlight that I'm going to jump to do that, and then I'll return back to finish up those free readings if no other donations come in the meantime, of course. All right. So, Moonlight, thank you for that donation. Here is your time stamps here. So thank you for your little sticker. They're always so funny. All right. So for this one, you want to take a sneak peek into R. What's he up to? Trying to impress you, having hopes, all or everything, right? All right. So let's take a look here. So what is R up to? Okay. And then is he trying to impress you? All right. Is he having hopes? And anything else? Well, thank you. Anything else to know around them here? All right. The King of Wands, they're kind of still, their underlying energy on the bottom of the deck just kind of says they're kind of in this, this little, I don't know, trying to figure things out stage of their life yet. They're still trying to decide what it is they do want in life. And I don't feel like they've really made a plan totally yet. They're just kind of shooting from the hip a bit more. But they're kind of in that in between place where they're still on that forks in a road, undecided what they want to do in life kind of energies. Their mind is still so noisy. They haven't like cleared out everyone from the throne room yet to really sit with their heart. So they're still in that process. Um, so what is he up to? Yeah, got that 8 of Pentacles. So he is putting in some blood, some sweat, the tears. I feel like he's really focused in on work, a lot of the outside world energy, but it is transformational energy. So I do feel like they are investing some time in trying to change who they are and trying to get the cocoon built. But I feel like they're trying to build a cocoon to transform, but they keep getting distracted at the outside world. It's like a caterpillar with ADHD. That's funny. I never had that before, but it's very fitting. I feel it for him. Like he starts to build it and goes, "Oh, what's that? I gotta go do that. Oh, I gotta go do this. Okay, a little more in the cocoon. Oh, wait, I gotta go do this." It's like it's gonna be a while. Um, is he trying to impress you? He is trying to have a fresh start with the Fool card without expectations and full of possibilities kind of energy here. Does he have hopes? Well, we have the High Priestess, you know, that is an energy of more being away, working on oneself, in the High Priestess temple, trying to see things from a different perspective, but they want things to happen fast with this 8 of Wands. And I do feel like so this would be like I'm doing my inner work. It's like they're reminding me of an old prayer someone used to say a lot. Lord, give me patience and I want it now. So it's like they're doing their inner reflection, but they're trying to rush it, and you can't rush your shadow work, right? Because then you're just doing it for the sake of thinking that I'm doing it, but you to apply it takes time. So I feel like they got this hope and they're like, "Look, I'm working on myself." And you're like, "Well, good, continue doing that." All right. Let's see what else they had. 3 more cards. Yeah, we've got the death and rebirth card here. We've also got the 4 of cups, the stagnant emotional energy, and we have the page of pentacles. Yeah, really wanting to have a new start. They wanna, the page of pentacles is another opportunity, but I feel like what's needed first is this death and this rebirth, and they haven't done that yet. They're still, with this 4 of cups, they're still where they're at before emotionally, so they can't offer you something new. They can just come back and go, it's like if you have a 19 I guess what these days, like a 1995 vehicle that barely works, and you give it a new paint job, but you haven't done anything to the engine or the insides of the car, it's still gonna be the same car. It just looks different on the outside, but the insides haven't changed. So I kinda feel like that's where they're at right now. Let's see what your fortune cookie says here. All right. Yeah, we got trust. It's the card that says the robin trusts her wings, not the branch she sits on. I like that. So that is what they have for you, Moonlight. Thank you again for your donations, and we'll circle back around for your free reading eventually as well. All right. Hey, Gojo. Good to see you. We'll get you onto the free list here. I think there's only like 5 people ahead of you on the free list, so we're jumping back into that right now. Let me take a quick sip here. Got my water, my big jug of water here. All right. So, Healing Sparsh, we got you up next, 255:31, I do believe. Yep. So, here's your timestamp. And greetings to you too. If possible, may you know Asif's current feelings for you. All right, let's take a look here. What can we know about Asif's feelings for you? All right. Yeah, it does feel here. You got the 6 of Wands, which is a mutual attraction kind of energy, more physical attraction, energetic attraction. Not really emotions with that card, but the Chariot card is moon, is ruled by the moon energy. It's Cancer sign moon energy behind it. It's the power of choice. And I do feel like there's going to be action taken here soon because that 6 of Wands kind of has this action energy, but the Chariot is movement and victory energy. And I feel like they're on the verge of making a choice. It's interesting that we do have a new moon coming up, which would be with this moon energy is a great time of movement. Let's see here. I think it's next week. May 16th, Saturday, the 16th, is actually the new moon in Taurus, which is ruled by Venus, the planet of love, sensual, right? So there is quite a bit of energy there with that. And I think it is. Yeah, and that's double energy because the new moon, that means the sun is in Taurus and the moon is in Taurus too. So you got double sun and moon energy in Taurus. So you might see something, action of some sort around that new moon in Taurus that's coming up in a little over a week. So on Saturday, a week from tomorrow. So I feel like that is kind of where they're at here. There's a lot of emotion behind the scenes with the moon card and the chariot. So I do feel like there's emotion there that wants to be expressed, but I feel like they will express more through the action and movement and passion first, and then they'll express and show emotion. Um, you know, after that, because I feel like they have to feel kind of safe before they'll share their heart, kind of energy. So hopefully that helps healing. So many blessings to you. Then we have May 25823. So May is your timestamp. So what does JP think of the spicy pics? Whoa, I've been posting on social media. Whoa. Let's see here. What does JP? Whoa. Got him flustered, it seems. Let's see what he got here. Yeah, interesting here. So we got the 3 of Pentacles, which is about being true to their authentic self and creativity of all things. Like they love the creative way that you're putting it out there. But the Hermit energy, I don't know why I mean, like, whoa, they want to be by themselves. Whoa, I don't want to see. Does it excite them that much? Oh my. But yeah, they are holding their magic wand there, their staff. Ew. But I feel like they're more of a creative energy. But I feel like that was just weird how it went that way. But I'm kinda like, "Wow, alright," you know, um, if that's the reaction we're looking for, I feel like you got it from them, that it really excited them. But the 3 of Pentacles feels more focused in on creation and creating something. Um, yeah, so it feels like that's not really their kind of cup of tea in a way, because this Hermit card, even though they kind of hilariously took it in that dirty direction, feels more like they're more reserved, that they're like, that's not really their whole thing. They like, I feel like they're more private, they're more reserved, um, kind of energy. It's like those things are all out there everywhere. I kind of feel like they like more of a creative approach, and they like the create some of the creative ways you did things, but that's how they're more looking at it, not so much, they're like, "Ah, I see all that stuff and more," it's so everywhere, right? That's kind of they become almost desynthesized to it, where it's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, so, well, there's that, I've seen all that stuff before." But I like the way they creatively presented it there. It's almost like how we can show less and be more sensual than show everything and leave nothing to the imagination. I feel like I like it when you do the leaving a lot to the imagination versus the here's everything, kind of stuff that we see everywhere, a lot of places. I heard a friend told me, but hopefully that helps me. That's what they got there for you. I don't know where where all this went. What's happening here? All right. So many blessings to you. All right, spiritual soul, you're up. 30143. Here is your timestamp. And why are you seeing 444 a lot? All right. I've been seeing 444 a lot today. Interestingly enough. Let's see what's coming in here. Yeah, let's see. Let's cover up some of this naughty bits. So, we got the Knight of Wands, which is a movement of energy. The Devil card is a shaking and rattling energy, shaking a lot of long held thoughts and beliefs and mindsets that don't serve anymore. Kind of this. Um, I'm reminded of the Four of Pentacles, which is about looking for your solid foundation of your worth. And that at some points, a solid foundation is good, but there's a point at which a solid foundation becomes stagnation, and then it's time to shake things up to be able to move to the next level. And I feel like all these fours coming in is them saying, you've been at this great stable level for a little while, but it's time to shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Um, uh, Shake it up a bit. Um, And so there is this energy coming in because this is a quest of expanding your energy, expanding your power. So gonna have some conflicting energies coming up, but it's for you because that's when you go to get from a 4 to a 6, you have to have the 5, which is conflict energy and change energy. And I feel like they're just kind of preparing you, going, kudos to all the stability that you've been having. Um, but after a while, we're ready for something more to come in and challenge that, and that's what's headed your way. So it's all for you, though. It's not a punishment. It's not too much for you to handle. You got this. But it's going to be like a stretching more than anything to help you. It's like when you work out the same muscle and the same weight, after a while, it becomes easy where it's like, da, da, da. It's not building muscle. It's just kind of maintaining and maybe even losing muscle. Instead, we're like, oh, let's up the weight a little bit. And then we're like a little sore, but we're building more muscle. So I feel like that's what's coming in. All right. So many blessings to you, spiritual soul. That's what they got for you. All right. And then Moonlight, you are up. Here is your free reading. Thank you for your donations earlier. So, whatever spirit wants you to know about the next 2 weeks, all right? Week 1, week 2. So, week 1, you've got the 4 of Wands. really this choose joy, celebration, energy. The more you celebrate and are grateful, it's almost like celebrate every day at least, and maybe even like celebrate the more as well, like celebrate hourly if you can. It's like get in the energy of, "I don't need to wait for when down the future to celebrate. I'm gonna celebrate every moment that I can." It's kind of that energy coming in for the next week because when you do that, it builds a solid foundation of joy, which then draws in more things to be joyful for. So I feel like that's important for the first week, and then the second week, if you do that the first week, you do get the reward the second week. It happens fast. The Queen of Pentacles is about abundance and fruition and new births. Um, and it can bring in opportunities for funds if you're looking for that too, of course, with the Queen of Pentacles. So, as much joy, joy, joy energy as we can, less on what's not happening that the story in our brain says should be happening and it's not matching in the outside world. It's what am I grateful for? Instead of trying to get the world to match up to our picture, what am I loving about what's going on in my life kind of energy. So that's what they have for you, Moonlight. So many blessings to you. Right. And then Ateshi Singh, you're up 30614. So Ateshi, here is your timestamp. And is it really more in your head? This past week, you felt more energy from him. All right, let's take a look here. Is it real or is it your perception, right? So we've got the Strength card along with the King of Wands and the 10 of Pentacles. You know, this energy coming out together, this feels more like this is you with your energy, hoping with the 10 of Pentacles. Like this is something that I feel is more you, because this is your higher self and your human self. So that's why I'm getting this kind of self energy. Leo energy is at its low expression is me, me, me energy. So this is about me, not about, about them kind of energy here. Um, this is you desiring a relationship. But I don't feel like it necessarily needs to be with them. I feel like this is more, you're wanting this. I feel like what's important is your relationship with yourself. Um, because if you're feeling, I kind of feel like you feel this emptiness because there's a story around the strength card. I'll tell real quick. Because when we come down here, this is our human self, the lion. We come down hungry for the eternal unconditional love that only our higher self can give us. That's when they're feeding us. Um, and But until we find that, we're told to look to the outside world. Excuse me. Um, for that stuff, right? We're told, relationships and situations and things are what fill us up, and got something in my mouth. And it's something you got to spit out. you know, that's the stuff we get, and it's like I was talking last night about because I had Chinese food, and I go, the outside world fills us up for a moment, but an hour later, especially it's American Chinese food, we feel hungry an hour later. We're like, "What's the deal?" It didn't fill me up at all. And eventually, our lion gets so hungry because the outside world, the more we eat of it and drink of it, the more hungry and more thirsty we become because it's realizing how empty we're feeling. Um, when we're getting stuff from the outside world, and when it stops, we feel even emptier. But what we're looking for is inward and upward for that eternal, unconditional love energy. So I feel like it's not so much in your head as it is in well, it can be our ego, our like it's like we're hungry for love because we're used to an eternal, unconditional love, but we are disconnected from it for a while we're down here until we reconnect with our higher self. Because when we're so desperate for love in the outside world and it's not filling us up, we become a roaring lion, an angry, a hungry, angry, roaring lion. And then that's when our higher self connects with us and gives us what we're hungry for. That's when we, oh, there it is. And then our life changes because we fill up from the inside out. Doesn't mean we stop wanting love in the outside world. We just stop feeling so desperate and hungry for it. It's just dessert. It's third dessert. We get a full meal and two desserts when we find our love on the inside. But the outside world only offers third dessert, fourth dessert, fifth dessert. So we're already full. And if someone doesn't give us seventh dessert, we're like, thank God I'm so full already, I'm good, Before we were like, "No, don't take away my 7th dessert," because dessert is all we were eating. Empty calories for the heart. Alright, so hopefully that helps. Ateshi, hang in there. Many blessings. And then we got Gojo, 31037. Here is your timestamp. And you wanna know, can you trust FBS? Is it reliable? If there's any kind of investments or anything like that, of course, see the disclaimer down in the description box. Tarot is for fun, for entertainment purposes. I'm not a licensed professional, so always consult professionals in making important decisions in your life. But we'll pull cards after that disclaimer. All right. So, based on current energies, are they reliable? What can we know about FBS? Yeah, I feel like you can. You've got the 8 of Pentacles, it's the blood, the sweat, the tears. There is something about, progression and taking time, things take time to unfold and for you to get all of the fruition of what you're looking for. The trusting, I have, like, the 7 of Wands. This is, like, kinda like, they're up on a hill. This is who I am. If you don't like it, this is who I am kind of energy. So, I feel like it's what you see is what you get. I don't feel like there's secrets. I don't feel like there's, something behind the scenes. And you have the 2 of Swords here. I feel like there is another option, though, with the 2 of Swords. It's like FBS is one option, but I feel like there might be another one. This one might look good on paper, and it's like that's this sword here, which is of the mind, but you have the moon choice here on the other side, which is you might be having, like, something from, like, your heart, like, you feel like this draw going, "Yeah, but I'm really this one looks good, but this other thing I'm being drawn to." You might look into that other one because your heart knows the way. So, I feel like there's a second option, that's even better than FBS, and your heart knows it. So, hopefully that helps, Gojo. That is what they have for you. So many blessings to you. All right, Pratyusha, hello, hello. Good to see you. Actually came in I just finished up my last free reading, so you came in just in the right time. The line is clear. So, let's not forget your timestamp. So got 31313. Look at all that. All those numbers. Beautiful. So, you want to tell what's the next major shift coming towards you, all right? Based on your current energies, what's the next major shift heading your way, all right? Got that, and make this one here. Oh, right. Wow. I love this for you. Definitely, it's a feeling of abundance with the Queen of Pentacles, this new birthing of something from your heart, because the Nine of Cups is an emotional dream that you have. And, the Queen of Pentacles behind the scenes, she does have cups energy. So this is an emotional energy. It's like you are ready to create something from your heart. I don't feel like this is relationship energy. I feel like this major shift is you going, you know what? I'm getting out of my head. I'm getting into my heart because our mind has a wish, which is generally someone else's dream, someone else's wish. Because when you wake up in the morning going, oh crap, I got to go live my dream today, that's not your dream. That's someone else's, right? Our head has our ego has these, things we were told growing up of supposed to be and should be and need to be and have to be and blah blah blah. And our mind has us. This is what you should do. And but our heart is like, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. I don't want to exist. I want to live. And I feel like the big shift that is coming for you is you're really getting this awareness in your heart of what it is you really want to do, how you uniquely want to share your love energy with the world in its own special, unique way. And I feel like that's what this big shift is you realizing I've been trying to live my life for everyone else and please everyone else. But here comes this birthing of your heart going, no, we're done with trying to please everyone else. It's time for us to, fill up our heart and overflow out to the world in that special, unique way. And here, this emotional dream is coming into your picture. This clarity around that, I feel, is coming in. That's a big change. When we get out of our head stops bullying our heart, telling it, what you want is stupid, is what our brain says, right? And it like suppresses and goes, no, 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 heart, you can't have what you want. I need to keep you safe. You need to do what I want you to do. Eventually, the heart is like, I've had it. I want this. And then we, being the observer, go, let's give the heart a try, mind. And then the mind goes, all right, I'll stop trying to control the heart and instead I'll support it. And then the mind will start finding ways to make your emotional dream come true, your heart's dream come true. So I like that for you. So hopefully that helps. That is what they have for you, my dear. So many blessings to you. All righty. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that is everything, everyone. You are very welcome. So, if you haven't checked out my podcast, we have The Easier Path. Here's the most recent adventure. If you want to catch up on the playlist, we got a wonderful selection of different subjects, different traumas and dramas that I've experienced, other people have experienced, the reason why humans do what they do, Spirit's perspective on it, and most of all, hints from Spirit on how to make our human adventure an easier path instead of a harder one. So if you want to check it out, the link is in the description area of the video. And if you go to my main page, that playlist is also at the top. After I'm done here in a moment, I will post a pinned comment listing all of the readings completed with timestamps. And I'm on Wednesday night through Sunday night, so I'll be back tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. So thank you guys again so much for all the thumbs up. It does help spread the Zen love, and you're part of the love tsunami, and I'm so grateful for that. And till I see you guys again, remember every second of every day of your life, you truly are eternally and unconditionally loved by the Mother and the Father of all things, our Creator. And of course, I love you too. So until I see you again, much love. Guys, hang in there. We'll see you soon.